Stop reading, I'll pick up.
All right,
so I'm
we're
just
live.
going to follow what you got.
All right, here we go.
Hi, we're live now.
Is it live now?
Yes,
Mic
it
is
is.
Mic is on. What's up, everybody? What's going on? Happy Friday night. This is a cool episode for us for 3 Feet Deep. As you can see, there's a lot of us in here, and we're being safe as we can. And before we start this episode, I do want to do a couple ads. We've had some friends helping us out to get this produced and get it live to you guys. So I want to shout out the Strange and Unusual Art Gallery. They have a new, what do you call it, a new show?
Exhibition.
An exhibition opening up next Friday, a week from, it's Saturday actually. So a week from tomorrow.
A week from tomorrow.
Yeah, February 27th. It's Ill State of Mind, featuring one of our friends actually, and local artist,
Tony Padilla.
So we want to shout out the Strange and Unusual Gallery. They've been big supporters of not only our podcast, but our band. We get to work with them a lot. And from artists to an art gallery, please check out the Strange and Unusual Art Gallery next week. It's located at 34 West Clinton Street in downtown Joliet. The show opening, it's $5 to come in, just for the opening.
Yeah, it's going to go to the gallery. It'll go to the people involved. They have put on really awesome things in the past. Again, Tony is a local artist. He has great work, and it is a chronicling of his childhood to current works, and it's going to be super sick.
We drove by last week, and their window already, just like the window, is awesome. Like,
it's amazing.
I can't wait to see what.
But yeah, check it out. It is starting February 27th and running through April of this year. You can check their Facebook page, which is up now, for details, links, all that kind of stuff.
Good job, Brian.
Don't miss it, guys. You got a full month and a half to get there, so don't miss out.
Don't miss out. And also, while we're here, we are broadcasting live tonight from Audiohive Podcasting Studio. Brian has been a friend of Rachel's and a new friend of mine for some time now. We both love rock and roll, and I think he's got a beautiful spot here. We're honored to honestly be hosting our first podcast from his studio, and it's going to be a really cool one. So if you guys have been interested in podcasting but don't know what you're doing or anything like that, like me, just hit up Brian. He's got awesome rates. This place is awesome. Like, when we walked in tonight, he had it all set up like this. I was just like, yes, this is amazing.
Super professional. What's the address, babe?
What's the address? I don't know. You just clicked my computer and now it's not on the thing.
Oh, sorry. I thought.
All right. So yeah, Brian.
It's in Joliet.
It's in Joliet. He's located.
Hey, that's Brian talking right now.
Yeah. Go to Audiohive's Facebook, Audiohive Podcasting, Facebook.com, and then you can find out more info there. So, without further ado, let's get into this episode. Brian, if you want to hit the theme music, and here we are. Get it in. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 3 Feet Deep. I'm Andy Victory.
I'm Rachel Darling, and I'm so excited.
It's live.
We're live right now. We are coming to you live from Audiohive Podcasting Studio in Joliet, and we are here with the Illinois Paranormalists, and we're hype, you guys.
Yeah, welcome, guys. Welcome to our show. This is
thanks
awesome.
for having us.
There's a lot of people here. Do you guys want to go just real quickly? If you want to go around and introduce yourselves, and
because if you don't, I will. I have your bios. So,
do you want to just do it?
No.
Okay.
Nope, sure don't.
All right.
Yeah, real quick, we're gonna run through. We're gonna start with you, Paul. You're our main guy.
Okay, Paul Schmidt. I've been ghost hunting for about 15 years. Our club will be 7 years old this June.
Sick.
That's crazy. 7 years old already.
Yeah, and we all came, most of us came, except for Emma, came from another club that was kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
just
you
kept it alive.
swooped in and rebuilt it.
Yeah, so
That's
a bunch
awesome.
of us got back together and started our own club, and we've been going ever since.
7 years. That's a good amount of time.
That's
and,
awesome.
We've been here for about an hour now, and I said Paul's got one of the most calming, beautiful energies that I've ever felt. Like, I'm an anxious person, and he's just sitting there, and like it makes sense that like you're the rock. You know, you're like, hey, I love this, so let's keep doing it after the other club. So yeah, I can't wait to hear more about the history of the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who do we got next, baby?
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm the newest, like they said. I've been here for a year now. It was my year anniversary, like a week ago.
Oh, happy
Congrats.
anniversary!
Oh,
yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
I found them at the library, actually. They did like a
Cool.
presentation. I know, I'm such a nerd. I go to those. And well,
They
it was a
exist,
ghost
people.
one. Yeah. And I've been doing it for a while, but I've been with this team for a year.
Sick. Sick. Well, congrats on your anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
And I'm going to call you Baby Ghost now.
Baby Ghost. All
That's
right,
your
Baby
new
Ghost.
name.
All right.
Moving on. Who do we got next?
I'm Jason Hauk. I've been ghost hunting for probably 12 years or so now. I was with the group that Paul was talking about
Sick.
originally. And then when Paul started his group, took a little bit of a hiatus, didn't know what was going on, and decided when I had some more time to join back up with Paul, and here I am.
He missed us.
Welcome.
What?
He missed us.
Yeah.
That's
And
ours.
that brings us to
Leslie.
Legsley. That tall drink of water she is. Baby girl, tell me your story.
So I have been doing this for about 11 years, and I found the group at a library. And
Oh, that's right.
Yep, it was actually down the street from my house, and I was looking for something to do, and I'm like, this is awesome. So, and I had always been interested. So, yeah, it's a lot of
Is
fun.
this library haunted? All right, you listen.
No.
All right, cool. I
all.
was like, is there like Ghostbusters? The scene in the library where they're all in the books and everything's flying out. It's like, did
just
you guys
got, like, a
bond
cheap
over a
meeting
Slimer
room.
situation? I was just wondering. Yeah.
Nice. All right, Leslie. And then, hey, mom's over here.
Yep, I'm Deborah Shea, and I've been ghost hunting since 2000, actually.
Oh, wow.
Right before then.
Check you out.
Yeah. Paul and Jason and I were in groups together, and through the years, we've just kind of made a new one.
That's
There you
awesome.
go.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, it's interesting, us being musicians and stuff like that, sometimes you go through changes of like members or like, certain people want to do certain things and like, it doesn't really align with like your vision or like what your passion is. Some people like whatever it may be. Life is crazy for all of us, So like it's just cool to talk to people who are all still like, hey, you know what? I know this isn't working out, but I love this so much that I want to continue to do it. So like what got you guys into ghost hunting in the first place? Like, did you have any experiences or like I would love to hear more of whoever
I'm
wants
ready
to answer.
to open
yeah.
Pandora's
I
box.
think each of us
Yeah.
have our own.
Deborah,
Yeah, let's hear mom. What's up,
Let's
mom?
speak
So how'd you
about
get into it, ma?
Okay. When I was
Ma.
It's so funny calling
before I
her
was
mom.
a
It's great.
teenager, I used to have dreams, and they would come true. And I
Okay.
knew that some uncle was going to pass. And after that, I
You just
I
knew.
freaked out. And then I just blocked it out. And then after when I was in childbirth, I had a near-death experience.
Oh, jeez.
And I didn't know I had a child for 2 days.
Oh, my
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So ever since then, that's gotten me into it.
Do you think that those experiences opened you up to like
Oh,
different,
totally. Yeah.
I don't know, realities or
Because
frequencies,
I started
vibrations?
hospice after that, too.
Sure.
Volunteer.
That's right. You worked for hospice,
Well,
right?
I did. Yeah, I took off for a medical leave, and then I had
Sure.
a sick granddaughter who ended up passing, and so I had to leave for a while.
My aunt Chris she's worked for hospice her
I
whole
love
life, and she's just her soul is just so pleasant. It's crazy the things that I've heard from them. My uncle's also a fire chief, and the two of them have so much trauma experience that it's
Right.
like kind of crazy. So
It's the true human touch.
yeah,
Yeah.
You can't explain it to somebody. It's so peaceful. Every time I would sit with someone when they're passing, I'm like, this is great.
You've
Go.
got to be so strong then, because there's no
Yeah.
way I could do it.
I did
Well,
pediatrics.
And I know.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So
It
babies.
definitely takes special people for that.
Yeah,
I had
definitely.
one of my cousins. I don't think she does anymore. Shelby, my one cousin you met.
Shout out Shelbs.
She worked in hospice with mentally disabled elderly.
Mm.
So that's like I can only imagine that you just learn to love these people.
You too.
So it's gotta hurt. I imagine, even if it's a short period of time, because some come and they don't have long. Some are there for longer.
Yeah.
But man, it takes a strong person
So
to be able to do what you do. I
Yeah,
couldn't.
pediatrics, and then I went back to older people. But
Sure.
Yeah.
And
I
you think
loved
that's like the connection you kind of made into getting into the spirits and like
Totally.
trying to. That's really interesting.
Do
that's
you
really
feel
neat.
like, from childhood to now, do you feel like the things you've experienced or maybe any sensations, like you said, you had dreams and stuff, do you feel like that's gotten bigger? Do
Like
you know
more
what I mean? Do
vivid,
you feel like
or-
it's increased or do you feel like
I
it's
don't
picked up
dream anymore.
energy?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't dream anymore, but I've become an empath. And
Okay.
so I go into a building and I can feel it.
You can feel it. That's crazy.
It's hard.
What's your birthday?
January.
January.
So what's that, Cap? You
Cap.
Capricorn?
Aquarius?
Aquarius.
Apiquarius.
Apiquarius.
Yeah, it's all the same, right? It's all the same. Yeah, Apiquarius seems about right.
Okay, Aquarius.
Yeah,
So
that's
now is
interesting.
your time, Deb. I just got to tell
Yeah.
you.
Well, happy slightly belated birthday to you
Hey,
then.
thank you.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
did real quick. I just wanted to ask. I saw because I read all your bios. I saw that you do research with like different like remedies, like with like I saw healing, religious and both non-religious.
Correct.
So where do you apply that like in your work? I guess you know.
Well, we network with
Okay.
a lot of different clubs.
Sure.
Because that's just the way you learn.
Sure.
You know, you got to. So, and I'm part of a different group that was founded by a priest who is a bishop, and we have in every state we have a team or at least 2 teams that can take on cases that other people won't.
Sure.
And sometimes, you know, I will bring it to this group, or I will say, okay, this is not the right group.
Sure.
Maybe send it to some other people.
Gotcha.
You know, I can go in and do a cleansing.
You burn sage and stuff?
I do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Like when we get new apartments or something, I'm like, hey, let's
Yeah,
cleanse this
so-
energy out here.
Yeah, and if someone needs, you know, I'm a Catholic, and if they don't believe in it, I can't do a prayer for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So you figured out ways to accommodate all people.
Yes, we have rabbis, we have
That's awesome.
Shaman
Sure.
all over the country that we
Right.
can call.
Well, because they have to believe it as much as you do, and if it's different for them, then how could they? You know.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yep.
You guys, Mom's awesome. Mom is awesome.
I wanted to mention that because of doing the hospice, Deb is usually surrounded by spirits.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
They attach to her
Rachel, they're
presence.
sitting on you right now.
That's awesome.
Our
We
bass
have-
player is
Well, I want to
half-
get into that
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
But yeah, yeah, just weird stuff happens. It has my whole life, just like
Hold
weird
on.
stuff. Yeah, we'll get
We'll
into
get
that.
there.
I want to get into that. I do want to come over to Paul if you wouldn't mind sharing like how you got this group get going in the last 7 years. Like what was you know, I know you had like a difference with another group, but like the beginning of this group, you know.
Yeah, the other group kind of fell apart. And actually, one thing I've read is that most ghost hunters last about 18 months
Interesting.
because it's not like what, you know, it's not ghost hunters or whatever, you know, it's not what you see on TV.
We're not Zach Baggins.
No,
over here.
you're-
We hate those shows, so that's
Yeah,
why I'm like
you're-
interested in like kind of talking to
Punch
y'all.
him in
I
his
hate
dumb
that
face.
stuff.
I hate him.
I loved it when I was young, but
You do spend a lot of time sitting on concrete and just killing time and making fun of Leslie. And
there's so many parallels between
Snacking.
being a musician and a ghost hunter because like people think recording is fun. It's boring. You just
yeah.
sit
Like the
around
worst,
and just
kind
like,
of honestly.
yeah, make fun of Rachel or you know,
Yeah,
same thing.
except I'm a lot more sensitive than I think
that's
Leslie
true.
is. I cry a
Leslie.
lot, guys.
Yeah.
You're never gonna. I can't call you. You guys just. Her name's Leslie. Just for anybody listening or watching. But she's very tall and's got beautiful legs. So now I start calling her Leslie.
Thanks.
And now I can't not say it. So because it's there now. So
Yeah.
I
All right.
tell everybody to call me that now.
sick. See, she's not mad. She's happy about it.
Oh boy.
So Paul, like what got
Better
you
than other
like
nicknames I've had.
what got you into ghost hunting then in the
right.
first place?
my whole life, I've read the paranormal, everything.
Awesome.
UFOs, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, all that stuff, and ghosts.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, even in this club, that show Ghost Hunters came on, and it's like a light bulb went off. People do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like you've always like kind of had the passion for it, but
Yes.
didn't really.
They actually go out and ghost hunt.
Yeah.
So I started looking for places and going to what we call like pay to hunt places,
Sure.
where you pay to go to a place that's supposedly haunted, and and then looked for clubs. And what happened with the other club is it was kind of dying down, and we really like a group of us really liked to ghost hunt, wanted to keep doing it, and they weren't doing it anymore.
Yeah.
And my family kept encouraging me, just go off by yourself.
Yeah. That's awesome to get that encouragement from family too. Because
Yeah,
sometimes when
so-
you like have kind of like a outlying hobby, you know, sometimes it's harder to get the family on board, you know, like, yeah, you know, but yeah, but yeah, I kind of like, I can relate to what you said because I've always been interested in like weird fringe stuff. Just like, what don't I know? You know, like everybody always wants all the answers all the time. And I'm like one of those people who have endless questions, you know? So like, I'm not interested necessarily in answers, but I want to find out about this. Or like we said before we started the show, we interview people that like both of us are just like super interested in. So like that is, my thirst for knowledge is never quenched, Paul. So I love that you just have read and just keep continuing to keep it going. So did you ever have any experiences when you were young, like Deb's dreams or...
I used to go up to my parents owned an old farm up in Wisconsin, And I swear to God, there was all kinds of bangings and stuff going
Cool.
on. And my parents would tell me, it's squirrels.
Yeah.
And I'm like, unless the squirrels got hammer.
I don't know. It is Wisconsin, Paul.
Not
So
a squirrel.
yeah.
But, so yeah, a lot of stuff like that. And, but nothing like direct or other than
Sure.
that. So
Sure. All right. And then we'll go to Jason. You've been doing it
Yes,
the
sir.
third longest,
Yes.
12 years, a ghost hunter. So
Yeah.
same sort of question for you. Like, what kind of got you into it? Were you just always interested, or?
Well, no, not really. So a little bit of history. In my late high school years, I had to live in our family farm with my
Cool.
grandparents for a while.
I like how a lot of this is rural. You kind of got that rural connection.
Right.
That's where weird shit happens. So
Yeah.
like, yeah. I mean,
out in the country.
yeah.
So while my parents were building their house, we lived with my grandparents, and this house was built back in the 1863. So it's old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one night, everybody was in bed.
1863.
Yeah, 1863. House is still standing. My cousin actually lives in it right now.
Just renovate. Is it one of those houses that like keep growing rooms over like years?
Not-
You
not
know,
like
like those
Winchester
country
House.
houses. Yeah, I like those houses. You know, we got an Airbnb one time, and it was just like you could tell like 20 years ago it was only this part of the house, and then they built on this addition, and then this one for the bad kid. That's not even attached to the house. That's the troublemaker.
shack.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it is an old house, and my cousin actually is renovating it right now.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so I was watching TV one night. I was all by myself. Either people were gone or in bed. I can't remember how late it was. And in the living room, across the room, there's a doorway that goes upstairs to the second floor. It's kind of like a secondary foyer or whatever.
Sure.
So I'm watching TV, and then all of a sudden, the door opened, probably about 4 or 5 inches. I kind of sat there and looked at him. I'm like, all right, well, it's a drafty old farmhouse.
Sure.
So I went and I shut it, and it's actually carpeted right there. So it
needs force to open.
it needs some force.
Sure.
Right.
So I shut it, went back down again, not thinking anything of it. Not more than like 2 seconds later after I sat down. This time I'm a little bit more in tune to it. I actually heard the door handle shake, and it opened up again the second time. This time about 2 or 3 more inches.
Ooh.
So I'm like, all right, there's definitely something going on here.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm like, all right, shut the TV off. I actually went through the door and went to bed. I have heard plenty of stories from my aunts and uncles of their experiences when they were kids growing up in this farmhouse.
Sure.
So there's been deaths. We've had family members waked in this house.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of attachment to this farm.
And thinking about all the years before your family was there, 1863.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's
My grandfather was born in that house. So
That's
Sick.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I wish, like my family don't got nothing like that. But like that's neat. I think like with America the way it is, like stuff that is that ingrained in your lineage and stuff like that. It's like that's like really cool. Yeah, I think old houses are really spooky. We actually always watch like ghost shows on YouTube. We watch Nuke's Top 5. It's like awesome. It's
I've
like,
been
you guys know
staring
Nuke?
at
You
this.
guys know Nuke? Okay, so he's
I'll
my
have to
favorite.
check that out.
I just every time I see doors open, I always like sometimes I'm skeptical, but then I don't know if this will make sense when I say this to you, but like when it's like paranormal, it's like not like a human would move a door. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like it's just like there's something about the movement of the door. It doesn't seem human. So that's like what you saw. It's just like kind of like I can't explain it. I just like my hands going.
But you know that they know what you mean.
Ghost door.
with
you
it
know?
going over carpet, I mean, it had to take some significant force to
That's
to
crazy.
push it. So it was definitely interesting. And then after that, my life went on, and then all of a sudden the shows started popping up.
And you're like,
I'm
you
like,
had those
something's-
experiences and
something. It's got to mean something. There's something
Sure.
got to be out there.
some
But-
like
Right.
synchronicity.
so I started researching
Yeah.
groups, and I found the original group that I became a part of. And
Was that at a library by chance?
yes, actually it was.
Same library.
Yes,
Man,
the
we
same
got to hang out
library.
at the library more. Our young man goes to the library all the time. He's going to come home in some fringe groups. He's like, you guys, I met
We're
like
going to
4
find
aliens
Cthulhu,
today.
bro.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, though.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Super sick.
And then, okay, so we'll go to Leslie. Then you're the 11 year
Leggsley.
Leggsley. Okay, see, okay. Rachel
like
gave her
I said, okay.
she gave her the nickname, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing nicknames or real names. But 11 years, that's nothing to bat an eye at. So, like 2010, you started getting into this?
Yeah, about a year after my son was born. So yeah, it's been about 11 years.
That's crazy. Same sort of question for you. Like, were you something happened when you were younger, or
So I grew up in Southern Illinois on a farm.
Farms, man, rural.
Started.
You guys live in the city if you don't want ghosts, okay? No, just kidding.
They're there too.
Yeah. There's
And-
devils there. yeah.
Just growing up when I was little, like I would see people, and I would tell my mom, and of course she would tell me I don't see people, but
Classic.
And so then I stopped doing that, but I was always really, really interested in it. And then I would read everything I could about it. I would watch any scary show I could find. And then when I was 19, my father died tragically in a car accident.
Oh, sorry
And
to hear
within
that.
a week, all this stuff just started happening at our house. It was me. I was 19, and it was my brother. He was 17. Within a week, TV was turning off and on by itself. The garage doors.
Just the energies were just.
And this was not the farmhouse. We had actually built a house and moved into town, which is like 2,800 people. So
That's the type of town I want to live in, to be honest
exactly.
with you. Leave me alone for the most part.
The phone would ring. Nobody was there. Actually, the first thing that happened was we had web TV. Do you remember that?
I
Web
do
TV?
remember Web
Okay.
TV. Absolutely.
And it was the first night that my brother and I were there alone, and my other brother had gone back to Wisconsin, and my brother came in my bedroom about 3 a.m. and he said, I can hear Dad's dresser drawers opening and shutting in his bedroom. And he
3
had
a.m., the witching hour.
right, and he had this old antique dresser, and I'm like, you know what? Just go to bed. Just leave the TV on and go to bed. Well, it just every day it was something. I actually ended up moving out.
Because
It
you're
was
like,
so
nah,
I'm like I can't do this.
I'm not
like,
about this life.
It's already
She left her brother, though.
I did. I did.
Yeah, well, you know.
You'll be fine.
Hey, only
Yeah,
the strong survive.
I'm gone.
Deal with these demons. Yeah, no. You know what's? It's interesting because Mom Deb over here, and like the passing of a family member, like seems to heighten it. So maybe I don't know. I think. Sorry about those.
Oh, yeah.
Deaths, by the way. But like that's one of those weird things. I think maybe sometimes when we go through events like that, tragic events, like it changes our frequencies in our brains and like makes us realize different things and gets us more in tune with
Well,
different.
because you become more open. I
You're
would think.
raw,
Yeah.
right?
Because
Exactly.
you're raw. Exactly.
Like I would have dreams talking to him, like I was sitting here talking to Jason.
You
It was
probably were.
crazy.
You
No,
probably
I
were,
believe
though,
100%.
Yeah.
Like some of the stories I could tell you would freak out, but
Oh, we'll get to them. Don't worry.
it's just. Yeah. And then my daughter would say she saw my dad and she would like tell me stuff about him and she had never met him. Like it was so I've actually been terrified of this stuff my whole life and I just do it. I started doing it to try to get over being scared
Are
of
you
it.
still scared of it?
Yeah, I don't like to be by myself.
I bet there's some
Okay,
really good.
Legs, you and I are two peas in the same pod because I find this stuff absolutely fascinating. I would love to do it, but I will be like,
And then
the whole time I'm gonna.
I'm the
freak
opposite.
out.
I think I'd be more like Paul over here and just being like,
We'll watch videos. And he's like,
Yeah.
He's like, why wouldn't he just walk over there and check it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, because
Yeah.
he's scared, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole thing.
yeah,
You
that's
know
what I
what?
always say. Just go look there.
The thing is,
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
the thing
yeah.
is if you're looking for it, like we're looking for it. So
Yeah.
then when it happens, you're not like freaking out. You're just like, holy shit, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
then,
Right.
no, I don't think any of us have ran off
Nope.
screaming.
No, but we had an instance. We'll get into it at Waverly with the shadows.
Oh, you went to Waverly.
Oh,
Everybody
I
knows
have.
Waverly. That's
I've
like one of the
looked
most
up
famous.
your investigation.
Let me get to Baby Ghost over here. Let me get to
Baby
Emma.
Ghost, Baby G.
So this is I actually want to thank Emma because we
Yes.
were friends in high school. I haven't talked to Emma probably 20 years. You know, maybe not that long, but good 15 years probably. You know, and we both sort of went on. And I just saw she uploaded a profile pic, and it had your logo on it. Yeah, and I'm like,
Oh, nice.
hey Emma, I know I haven't talked to you in a really long time, and sorry if this is strange, but are you part of a ghost hunting group? Because I'd love to have you on our podcast. And that was like November. It's like this has been in the works for some time. We've been very excited for it for some time. So thank you, Emma, for getting everybody organized. You know, she was the messenger there for a while. I'm like, why don't we just start a group chat with everybody? I hate group chats too. So like yours is great. You guys are always putting the eyes and everything in there. I'm like, I could kind of tell coming into tonight. I'm like, these guys kind of seem like their humor's on par with us. Like just kind of like that kind of almost sarcastic sort of like witty sort of. So I knew this was going to be a good match. But Emma, thank you for helping getting everybody in this room. So same question to you. I know you, but like what got you into ghost hunting?
So I feel like it's something I've always been absolutely terrified of my whole life. So it's crazy that I'm in this now. But in my 20s, I started experiencing like really weird stuff. Like I would wake up and there would be people in my room that I had never seen before. I didn't know who they were. So at first, I thought I was hallucinating. So I asked my doctor, I was like, so this medication I'm on, does it cause hallucinating?
Sure.
Hallucinations. I can't talk. I'm sorry.
I can't say that word.
I give
Does it
up.
make me trip out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she said it doesn't. So,
Be like, are you on it? How do you know?
right. Right. But then I was at a friend's house. She had a house that like, it had been a house, and she was like, it was open in the 1800s, I think. I think that's when they built it.
Mm-hmm.
But one night I was sleeping there. I was on her couch, and I woke up, and there was a man over me. He was just like looking down at me. He had like a mustache. Like, I don't know. He was just like an old man. But I described the old man to my friend, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, that's my landlord that died, and he didn't like people coming over."
What?
Yes, that's
mustache man.
It's starting to make sense now.
I'm going to shave my
That's
mustache
crazy.
now. Yeah.
Did she owe rent or something? Like,
Don't we all? No. Yeah, I'm just
I'm
kidding.
here to collect.
If my landlord ever starts haunting me, I'm going to be like, I still don't got it.
That, in
this week. I
true
still don't got it.
landlord fashion, a landlord would come back from beyond the grave to be
Yeah.
like,
Rent was due
I
last week.
noticed you're about 3 days late.
Yeah.
Just wondering if you could get that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That
So
is
you
crazy.
guys collectively and singularly have had a lot of stuff. I do know also you guys have quite a few more members, correct, that are not here today. I think, how many do you guys have total?
Is this like the core group here, or there's other people who join you
basically, but we're up
occasionally?
to 10 or 12 now.
Cool.
That's cool.
yeah.
You want 2 more? We're yeah.
Come on.
We love to do vlogs. Yeah. We could help.
Like I said, I was doing, getting my show notes ready and all that stuff, and I was going through, and I was like, okay, let me get a little information on everybody. So I have it here as a talking point. And I got like almost to the bottom of the page. I was like, man, there's a lot of them. And he's like, did you remember that there's only like 5 of them coming? I was like, aw, man.
Yeah, I'm like, just get
I've
the
done
info on
all
the ones
this
who are in the
work.
group chat. Like you're doing research on everybody,
I got excited.
She's starting her own 23andMe page just for you guys. So, she needs blood
Oh,
samples
your
by
whole
the time you
history.
leave here, okay?
I have cups, sterile cups, in my bag. You're gonna pee in them before you leave. I'm gonna send them out to be analyzed.
Yeah. We're just going to throw them in the snow and write our name. That's all we're going to do.
You can't. No, with a cup of piss, how are you gonna do that?
So, all right, guys. All right. So
just
You
got
started it.
you've
That's
all
all I
had
gotta
you've
say.
all had experiences on your own and things you've witnessed together. Are there anything like Emma? You're newest to the group, but like, how many hunts do you think this collective, all of y'all here, have gone on
Holy
together?
Together?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. A lot.
that's awesome. How do you?
Yeah,
Okay, maybe I'll try an easier question. How many do you think you do a year? Do you have
A
like a
lot.
schedule, or are you just kind of like, hey, is everybody free this Saturday?
No, I try to schedule.
You know?
I
Yeah.
do try to schedule like 6 or 7. However, things come up.
Yeah, sure.
First off, we take calls from the public or emails from
Cool.
the public, whatever,
That's awesome.
if they want stuff. Even though those are the least reliable, because people at first want you, then they get afraid.
Yeah.
Because then they don't want to know.
Yeah, or then
Exactly.
someone tells them they're just gonna stir things up. You don't want them in. Which we don't stir things up.
Yeah. Well, it seems like across the
happened.
board, you've all sort of had genuinely pleasant experiences. It doesn't really seem like.
So-
We had a question asking, did you guys ever deal with demons? Somebody asked that on the chat. Any Constantines? You got to trap anything in mirrors or anything
If
like
there's
that? or-
anybody, it would be Deb.
Yeah.
Deb?
It
Yeah.
really isn't that
Deb, lay it
common.
on us. So okay, they're singling you out, Mom. What have you experienced anything like crazy like that where you knew it was not ever been a human? You know what I mean? Like,
I have once. Yes. It was at a private residence, so I can't really say too much about it.
totally
Yeah.
fine.
It ended up getting referred to a diocese
Okay.
so that the priest could take care of it. But yeah.
You know
there's
that's
that.
business then.
Yeah, exactly. So when cases like that come up, that's when I grab out to
Sure.
in other groups. as
Gotcha.
well. So that way we can figure out who's best.
You're kind of connecting
Oh, yeah.
people and cool.
You're the conduit. Yeah, of the group.
And I think she is anyways, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you
In a
are
sense.
literally
It's like weird.
and
I'm
figuratively.
I'm sitting here in between y'all, okay?
I feel good.
Yeah, it's just like y'all are calm. You
Like
guys have
mad
like a really
chill.
just sort of like I don't know. I am a frequency guy. You know, I really am, and I think like I pick up on people's static and like
we're
people
old
who are
and
like
we're tired.
yeah. I'm 33 and I'm tired. Yeah, that's
I
why I
was
drink so
tired
much coffee.
20 years ago when I was
Yeah.
13, man. I don't
Yeah.
think it ever goes away.
I think you just get more tired. The more you're going. But you know that lucid state too. I know that kind of seems crazy. I said the witching hour earlier, and like I'm a person who stays up all night. Like I'm a night owl. I've just always have been. And for music, for me, like I always feel like I can tune in. I don't know what it is. I always tell her, like, she sits with me a lot, and just sometimes it just comes. Like, I'm not planning to write anything, or it's just like right around like that 2, 3, 4 a.m. That's like when my ideas come, and I just kind of like I feel like I tune out, and like I just get energy fed into me.
Or do
And that's
you
like,
tune
I know
in,
it seems
though?
weird. Yeah, I don't know.
You tune in.
I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm not
I
a
still want
scientist.
to know about Deb's demon, though.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like that tuning in is like, sometimes it's not always good energy you can tune into. If you have that gift, it's everything's, as above, so below. You got to deal with both, So yeah, demons. Okay, back to demons. Come on, Constantine, mom over here.
99.9% of the time, it is not a demon.
Yeah.
So we put that out there first. It's that 1% time that it could be an inhuman spirit or a human spirit that's
That can be
just
goose.
an asshole. Right?
That'll be me.
Right?
Yeah, unfinished
already-
business. I'm just grumpy as
I better
myself.
die first. That's all I know.
People that, you don't like them in life, you're not going to like them afterwards.
Sure.
So, yeah, those are the cases that we pass on to clergy and different teams. So,
That's sort of an insight that I kind of never I see I've made a Constantine joke a few times. We got Keanu
I love
running the boards back here, and
you gotta watch that.
yeah, and what we're actually gonna I'm gonna do a little detail drop. We're calling our album Visitors because, like I said to you guys earlier, like I feel like there's a ghost that lives in. Well, I don't feel that. Everybody else tells me that, but I think. Yeah, I don't know. I believe in all that, like apparitions. Is that a movie?
It's from the BBC. It's actually a show.
Does David Attenborough narrate it?
He might. It's fantastic.
Count me in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure who. It's really good. I can't remember who's streaming it now, but it's good.
I wanted to ask because you said okay, it could be a demon, it could just be like a dick, right?
If dicks are haunting you, we gotta do something totally else different. Then I'm just saying, that's like
okay, it could be a Richard, whatever.
Sell that on OnlyFans.
So I had a question. Let's say it's not demonic, but do you guys feel? And any one of you could answer this too. A violent death versus a non-violent. I feel like those the energy of your death probably affects you in the afterlife. And I don't know if there's maybe been instances where for certain that somebody may have passed in a not great way. Do you feel like that kind of affects the energy in the afterlife? If you just die in bed versus
Right.
yo, you got deaded in bed, bro. You know what I mean? I wonder if that can affect you in the afterlife. You hear about vengeful spirits and angry spirits, and I sometimes
Poltergeists.
wonder, where those kind of stem from, and if you guys have ever had an experience where you felt like maybe the passing was kind of the reason for the energy that was left over. Anybody?
Did you?
That was a lot to unpack there,
Sorry,
Rachel.
I'm
I think
sorry,
okay,
I'm
so you
excited.
had Jason had your house is 1863.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of think I am sort of a skeptic. Not really. I just I love science so much, and I just want everything. I want proof of something,
Right.
And we have many experiences. I've literally seen shadow people and been touched and weird stuff has happened to us. And I'm no, I don't know.
I had to
I don't
yell
know.
at our ghost last night because he was messing with me. I was trying to go to sleep.
Yeah,
I was
but
like, bro, come on.
What I'm
not
saying
now.
is when we have these establishments, these houses, these buildings, these deaths, everything I believe in energy. So do you think depending on the energy of the room, you feel negative energy, right? When you guys walk into places, your home, your family home, that's kind of a positive energy. It's there, but it's, it's positive.
Safe.
So I guess what you're trying to unpack is do you think the energy of the room is contingent on the activities that have been conducted in that room over the years?
No, that's not what I meant.
Okay, well, I don't know what you meant. You need to explain
Do
it
you
far better
think
than you
that
did then.
the energy of the spirit is affected by how they died. So if they died in a way that's more violent or
Murdery.
gruesome, it could just or an accident, but maybe it was a bad one. Do you feel like that affects the energy of the space more than somebody who maybe just died in their sleep? You know what I mean?
I think so.
Yeah. So a lot of things you gotta keep in mind is this is not a scientific. I mean, there's everything's based on theory.
Yeah.
And
Science and magic, it's all the
Right.
same.
so when we go into investigations, we go in to debunk a lot of the claims right off the bat, because there could be some other proof,
Yeah.
that it could be causing the activity. However, now to get to your point about a death, yes, there are definitely theories out there that if someone was murdered, unexpectedly, an unexpected death, that spirit seems to have a tendency to linger because
Unfinished business.
or they just don't realize what had happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't say it was like an energy, but more of a what's the word?
Just figuring stuff out.
Yeah, well, trying to figure what's going on. But they say a lot of the stuff. So I guess energy kind of gets impregnated in the surroundings.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Like
yeah,
in the
yeah,
house,
It attaches itself and
Right.
cool.
Plus intention.
Yeah.
Right. If you're in somewhere investigating and you're just, you did this and you did that, if you keep hearing that, then you're going to act that way.
Right,
So
sure.
Yeah.
we're very like mellow. We do not ever,
Yeah.
we
We don't
we ask the
instigate
questions
or-
Again,
when-
you're not,
We're not
hey,
mean.
demons,
Yeah.
it's me, your boy.
Exactly. Come
Yeah.
and get me. We never do that.
Right.
I don't
I've had
fuck with
attachments.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you never want to bring something home with you.
I think we talk to them like how we would want to, like how you would talk to somebody.
respect them.
Right.
Yeah. 100%.
Because I'm
You're in
not
their
trying to
space.
piss
Yeah.
anybody off
They
that
were
can
people
follow
too,
me home.
so-
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I would imagine that's something you guys really have to consider too in anyone's space is like you don't want to bring your work home with you.
No.
Right.
Are there like
Especially in this instance. I
yeah, are
suppose,
there
yeah.
like safeguards, things you guys like do to protect yourselves before you go into a space or a home or something like that to kind of not bring the juju home with you? I've got to imagine there's something,
I always wear my cross and I always pray.
Yeah.
I'm like, and you have to have intention and say, you have to stay here.
Exactly.
You cannot come to my crazy household. You won't like it anyway. So just
Yeah.
stay here. And I would like to say, I don't think anything's ever followed me home.
Yeah, as many times as I've been out, I've had nothing follow me home. I mean, you gotta have a strong will about yourself.
Yeah.
To begin with, and when you state your intentions, and I don't think as a group we don't collectively have a prayer or anything before we go in an investigation. We all kind of have our own
Ritual.
thing.
Ritual.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
But when I'm before we leave the premises or whatever, I always say, hey, this is your home, not mine. You need to stay here. There's no need for you if you
Yeah.
follow me home.
That's awesome. That's like really cool. It's like this is all stuff like, again, I hope other people get this enjoyment out of hearing this because like when you watch a show and they just edit creepy music in, you don't really see the psychology behind it, and that kind of brings me to my next point is like, with viral videos going crazy these days and like deep fakes and like there's like 500 hours of us talking on the internet. Like people can literally construct us to say anything they want right now. Like it's a crazy thing to think about,
Yeah.
And like I think about like all the like I said the YouTube videos and stuff we watched earlier, like people could fake stuff and like do stuff like that. Doesn't help the cause at all, obviously.
No, none at all.
But like like it's all edited and like single serving. Like we're talking earlier, like sometimes it's boring, right? Like it's like sort of boring and then like you kind of catch that one moment. Like on those nights, do you guys do anything to be like kind of like, I don't want to say provoke because you guys all seem really good hearted and I don't think you're there to provoke any oh, Jason's smiling.
Well, no.
Jason's smiling, so maybe I'm onto something here.
Well,
Yeah.
No, we don't. I mean, provoking is a bad way to go about it.
Yeah, that's a horrible word. I just don't know what else to
No, I mean but there are ghost hunters out there that do provoke. I mean, you've seen some of them on TV.
Idiots.
We've had some older people that were in our older group that used to provoke quite heavily. And all they're trying to do is get them to interact with you. There's other ways to go around, to go about it. To
Sure.
get them to interact with you. You can ask harder questions or like maybe kind of trick them into doing something.
Yeah.
But never provoke.
Yeah.
Don't say, hey, asshole, I know you can do this, but
Well, I think that's a good approach. That way, nothing does follow you home. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, that's kind of a good sort of, I don't know. I don't know what my baselines would be. You know what I mean? Like, the only haunted things I've ever really done is like I got to walk around the Rialto one time. That was
We've
cool.
been there a couple of times.
Yeah. Have you guys done
yeah.
investigations there?
We've run some through there.
Yep.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask. Why don't we just go there then? Yeah, that's
right.
that's hometown for us. We've played there as
We gotta bring them
musicians.
to the studio.
We love Joliet. Yeah, just locally, I would like to get into the investigations if you guys are not opposed to that. Like, how did the Rialto go for you guys? Is that something? Did you get anything
Awesome.
there? Yeah, was it awesome?
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
had.
that place is haunted.
Yeah, that place
Yeah.
is haunted.
It's
Yeah.
haunted.
Yeah, Leggsley. Let's hear it, man.
Legs.
So, one of the coolest things that we've caught a couple really cool
Right.
things there, but one of the cool things we caught was on one of my first ghost hunts, and I was sitting in in one of the chairs, probably like 4 or 5 rows back from the organ. And I actually use my iPhone to record. I think my iPhone records way better than some of the handheld devices. So I
Totally agree with that.
I use my iPhone, and I had it just sitting next to me, and I didn't hear it with my ears. But when I was listening back later, I caught footsteps walking up to me, like dress shoes walking on the concrete, and like it walked up to me and just stopped. Now I didn't hear it while I was sitting there, but to
After
listen
the
back,
playback,
it was
yeah.
awesome. And then we've also caught an apparition in the balcony.
Yeah,
On camera, a couple when we were setting up cameras, and it was the lights were on. We weren't even like doing anything yet, and it was just like 2 things walked to the balcony and then just turned and then disappeared into a column. That was awesome.
That is crazy.
Awesome.
It is
dude.
crazy.
A lot of stuff seems to happen when you're not ready for it.
Exactly.
That's how it always happens.
That's a metaphor for life, Deb.
Exactly. Cameras won't be up yet. Video's not going, and all of a sudden, there you go.
Well, we catch more EVPs just when we're just sitting around talking like this, because I think they just want to be involved. Because
Right.
like, how do you feel if somebody's just going to sit there and go, "What's your name? What year were you
Well,
born?"
and
What
like
do you
guys,
want here?
Exactly. And like you guys said, that a
questions
lot
over
of
and over
people,
again.
a lot of these spirits, they don't know. They don't even know that they're passed on. So why wouldn't they be like,
Right.
"Oh yeah, I've been alone, man. There's people here. I'm about to have a jam. Like we're about to sit and like talk." So it makes sense that you would get more reaction when you're not trying
Yep.
than when you are, because then maybe when you are trying, maybe they get more scared themselves. You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh,
And you've
okay,
got
now
to
I gotta
think
go."
like they do. Are we the ghost to them?
Right.
Can they hear us? Can they see us?
And
Sometimes we can see them and hear them, but it sounds like it's muffled, so you
Sure.
don't know. Are we their ghost?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Are we freaking them out?
Well, that's weird because then, you're in their reality.
Well,
you know,
and
that's
then
a weird
that's
sort
gonna
of thing
put
to
you
think
a whole
about.
nother. Is the spirit realm just another parallel dimension that's where they live, and maybe we are their ghosts? That's like
Exactly.
there again, like you guys said, there's not necessarily science behind it, but it sure does open a lot of different doors,
elementals
doesn't it?
and all that. Everything
Yeah.
in the forest that you've seen them, and then all of a sudden, whoop, they're gone. Yeah.
It's just a crazy thing to think. Like,
We're not the only ones here.
right? That's exactly what it is.
There's definitely something more to it all. That's what intrigued me to get more involved, because there's something that
There
you
can't
just can't
not be.
figure it out.
Right.
I mean, if you can't figure it out with science, or like you did your due diligence and trying to figure out or debunk whatever was done.
Sure.
What else could it be? What else?
Exactly. So we've kind of lightly touched on the fact that like we have stuff like happen at our apartment, and like some things like, okay, so we have these 2 like light up marquee signs, and for no reason at all, they'll turn themselves on all the time, and they turn themselves off. I chalk it up to maybe it's like it'll turn itself off after so much time.
There's
Doesn't-
no batteries in them, and they do it when they're not plugged in.
that has happened.
That's weird.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
We've had we have like a guitar rack in our living room, and there was a time he was getting our littles ready for bed, and I'm just sitting watching YouTube, and like I like looked over and I watched the one guitar like on the stand, it went goop and just
moved.
and there was no reason for it to like.
Yeah.
There's
It's been
been
sitting there
things
for
that
days.
like we'll get freaked out by, but we're like, okay, this is explainable. You know what I mean? Okay, that makes sense. It could be this. This is plausible. But then I'm like, there's no reason that guitar should have moved
Yeah.
at all. There's no reason that I just closed that cabinet and now it's open. You know what I mean? And our cabinets are creaky. We would hear them. So it's a crazy thing to think that there's not something beyond where we're at currently.
Yep.
And the people that are like, well, I don't believe in, like, how could you? I don't know. Like, we're literally made up of energy that we're literally right now. We're just energy moving around real fast. So what's to say that we wouldn't just be a different form after the body dies, you know? And I think that's all it is the body dies, the spirit, the soul, whatever you decide to call it, whatever your choice is. And that's just what continues on. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I want to talk about, we kind of briefly touched on it, about like, you said stuff about dreams earlier. Like ever since I was a kid, it's funny because after the Harry Potter movies came out, I was able to explain this to people. But like as a kid, like my whole life, I've always seen like 7 figures standing around my bed, 2 on each side and 3 at the footboard. Like I call them the 7. Like that's like, and then that show The
And
Boys
it
came out.
totally makes sense to you.
Yeah, and like it's it always looks like the Dementors from Harry
Right,
Potter,
right.
but their like backs are towards me. Like I never feel like they're getting me. I feel like they're like protecting me.
Right.
Like it's like a weird energy. and we see them in our apartment all the time. And
I
they're, like,
don't see them ever. I see our one guy.
They're like shadow, you know, they're like
I think
weird.
it's the same guy, but
Yeah,
that's just me.
it might be the same guy. We call him Wallace.
We call him
He lives
Wallace.
in one of our paintings.
We decided that.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like, so that was something that kind of my whole life I've never been able to explain. And maybe it's mental. Maybe I got something going on up here, but I don't know. You know, but that's sort of like my connection. And like, I always tell her, like, sometimes I feel like I go up. Like, I started learning about astral projection and stuff like that. And
it's
like,
out of body.
before I knew that, though, when I was young, like, I always felt like, you know, I could get to this weird meditative state and just go up.
Exactly.
And like, I don't know, like, I've always been open to, I call them frequencies and energies. I don't know about ghost, like the label ghosts for me, because I don't know if I've ever seen a ghost, but I see these shadow figures all the time. And like, there's something like, I'm not looking for them, you know, they're just like, there goes that one across the hall. And no matter where I live, so it seems like they do follow me. So if anybody goes home with any ghosts tonight, sorry about that.
No, I think it's a good one.
Yeah.
I think it's
Can
a
I
good
ask
one.
you a question though?
Sure.
So like when you see these figures, is it within, you know, an hour of falling asleep? Because I
see them at the day.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I call them night terrors,
Yeah.
and usually within an hour of me falling asleep, and it happens quite frequently,
She does.
I'll wake up. I've had little kids sitting on my bed. I've had balls of light flying at me. My husband hates it. I actually screamed last night and jumped on him. Because it's scary.
He's like, yeah, I hate this. Yeah, I hate this. Oh, yeah.
Legsley.
Legsley.
Yeah.
Good one, Chase.
Well, we've been married almost 14 years.
Yeah.
So. But it's always within like the first hour of me falling asleep. And we've had somebody in our group that is sensitive, and she talked to her people, and she's like, that's kind of like the time that you're letting your
Yeah.
she's like, I keep my guard up because it scares me, and she's like, that you're letting your guard down, and you're like a light, and that's like the time they're coming to you.
Yeah.
It'll scare the living. I've had old men standing there. I had a woman floating in front of my face.
That's crazy.
I hate it sometimes, like, because it's
Yeah.
you know, I scare everybody because I'll start screaming. So.
I never know, but I'm always like, what are you doing? Like, I like,
Yeah.
see, when I asked about provoking earlier, I always tell, like, because the lights do turn on and stuff at our apartment, which is weird. We live in an old apartment, too, so it's, like, not the best. But
I think
like
you need an investigation.
Yeah. Well, it's small. Okay, our apartment's about as big as this podcast studio, so that's why I was like, hey, you know, let's go there. At least he's got everything set up over here. But yeah, it's one of those things that like we tell people about, and then like people, are, and then they'll come over and be like, dude, I just saw somebody walk through your kitchen just now. I'm like, yeah,
Yep.
that's Wallace.
That's funny. My husband,
Yeah.
my husband
This is very
has always
Yeah.
believed, but until I came home from a place that is now closed that we have gone to before, all I can say is it's in Plainfield, and I had a shadow person follow me home, and so I'm laying in bed, I'm looking out, and my husband's facing the same direction, and the nightlight blacks out, and I'm like, okay, it's the dogs. I'm like, okay. So I hear something come up the stairs, and him and I are both laying the same direction, and it blacks out the door. You see a shadow go into my son's room, and then walk back. My husband's like, did you just see that? I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Not
like you
again.
both, like, isn't that one of those weird things that's confirming is when other people see it? Because like you always wonder, like, is my mind playing tricks on me? Did I have too much
Exactly.
heated plant matter before I went to sleep tonight? Like, what is going on here? But like, we have an instance where we were laying in bed one night, and we have like a sound bar, you know, and then our TV. So like when the sound bar is turned off, it like there's a little red LED. Same with the TV, 2 little red LEDs, and you could see them in the pitch black, right? You could see them in the pitch black. And there was one night, one of the things we experience a lot, it feels like people stand up. Like they were sitting at the edge of the bed,
The bed kind of
and then they stand up. Like it's literally how it feels.
It's always on my corner of the bed.
It's on her corner.
Always.
And one night, we're sleeping, and she starts freaking out. She's like, dude, somebody pulled the blankets, somebody stood up. I'm like, whatever, I'm sleeping, you know? And like, that's kind of how I am. And we were just sitting there, and then like, I'm like, it's fine, you're crazy, you're whatever. You know, I'm a great boyfriend. Yeah. But one thing that was really weird to me, and I didn't tell her this till the next morning because I just wanted to go back to sleep. Right. But like, where her feet were is like right where our power bar, like those 2 little red lights are. And I couldn't see the 2 red lights. It was like something was blocking the red lights. So I took my iPhone, I turned on the camera, and I shined it around the room, and I didn't see anything, and I could see the red lights. But as soon as I turned my iPhone, I'm getting chills thinking about this. As soon as I turned my iPhone flashlight back off, I could not see the red lights. It was like something was still standing there.
Right.
Wow.
And then I was like, whatever. And I went back to sleep. I'm like, it's probably one of my 7 just standing there, at the edge of the bed.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I just like, I feel these energy. I'm still a skeptic. I feel this. I've encountered this a lot throughout my life. And it's just been something I'm like, I can't prove it.
Right.
I don't want to sound crazy to people when I explain it because I don't want them to be like, you need a psych eval.
Yeah,
You need to go, you need to be on this medicine. But like, it's been a constant thing through my life. I see these
It is.
dark figures around.
Yep.
So
I think like for me, like I think I didn't realize till I was older that I had experiences like when I was younger, like
Oh yeah.
the house that my mom just moved out of, that's got its own thing. But before that, we lived in a house that was like, when we bought it, it was already 100 years old, blah, 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 blah. And I wouldn't say like I had, but you always like feel something, and I was always like, that's weird, but maybe it's me, blah, blah, blah. Same type of situation.
yeah.
And then
I'm not that crazy.
the house that my mom just recently moved out of, we moved in there when I was 8th grade. I moved out like for the last time a couple of years ago. And I would tell her all the time, I'd be like, Mom, there's stuff happening. There is stuff. And she'd be like, no, you're fine. Like I would get freaked out to the point, I'd be like, can I lay on your floor? And she's like, Rachel, you're 19 years old. I'm like, I'm scared, bro. But like I would have like laying in bed, always like the blankets, always. And you've been in my room at my mom's old house. Like I would have
Shout
like,
out to mom's houses.
I had like a little like light up mirror that would only light up if you pressed the button. And sometimes I'd look up there and the light would be on. When I was like in high school, I would hear like knocks on the wall behind. You'd go, and then there's like nothing that could have made that sound. And it's
Might have been the
funny.
raccoons in the attic.
No, it was in the wall. It was like you would hear knocks on the wall behind you. And we didn't have pets at the time, nothing. And I would tell my mom this, and she'd be like, "You're crazy," blah 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 blah. Well, when I moved out, like the first, and I was out for some time, she'd be like, "Rachel, the frickin' tissue box just flew off the half wall." I'm like, I tried to tell you. You didn't believe me. And then she would tell me, and it was weird because she never experienced stuff until I left. And then maybe like they just liked me better when I was there, and then they got bored when I was gone or something. And I love that confirmation where you're like, okay, it's not just me.
Right.
It is happening. And I like that you're now, like you weren't always, you know what I mean? In the same situation, like, it's probably nothing. But now you're like, okay, it is kind of happening.
I acknowledge
to an
things.
extent.
I don't know.
Open up to it.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. And like I had some like just weird sort of trauma stuff that I went through in my life, and then like again, I think that opened it up. I also hallucinogenics kind of changed things. I felt like I got pulled through the mirror once, and I'm living in that reality now. It's like super weird. I'm weird about mirrors. Mirrors creep me out. So if you got any ghost mirrors, let me know about
He's
those.
convinced that spirits live in mirrors.
They can move around.
Not
I don't
all
know
of
nothing.
Them, though.
Yep.
Not all of them, though.
Yeah.
No, not all of them.
No.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Do you?
Mirrors are
okay,
crazy.
So let's talk about
Mirrors are crazy, man.
Do you feel like you say okay? So we say some of them you can move around. Obviously, like I don't disagree that I feel like mirrors are in some way kind of like a portal
Exactly.
to something else. Do you feel like when you say some can, some can't, is there like a specific some like what, or is
I
it
don't
just
think so.
no?
I
It
think
just
it's the
happens to be
intention, what was in the house.
sure.
There's been Victorians that I've been in, and there is nothing.
Right.
And then there's been little apartments, and you swear you see somebody in that mirror, and it's not you.
Right.
And you see it out of the corner of your eye. So it's just, and a lot of people can't like to also look into mirrors and try to look for people in there. And so, it's,
I will never look in a mirror if it's dark. Like if I have to get up and pee, I'm like, nah.
Right.
Nope. I'm turning on the lights or I'm just not going to look because like mirrors are kind of scary to me actually.
That's one of my favorite things to take pictures of.
Yeah.
around.
Is mirrors?
Yep. When we were in Iowa, you weren't there, I don't think, with me. I was at the Villisca Axe Murder House.
Oh, I went a different
and
time.
the four.
It's called the Murder House, Deb?
Yes.
You don't know Villisca?
Villisca, Iowa.
Is it a white
look it up.
farmhouse like in the middle? I know
Listen,
what it is.
enlighten
I know what
me,
it
guys.
is. And like some
Tell
guy
me all
like
the
murdered
goods.
his whole family, right?
Yes.
I know it.
You
I know
got
what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's called Villisca House.
Villisca. It's not super duper far.
Can't
You
wait
can
to go
handful
down this
hours.
YouTube rabbit
Oh,
hole
yeah.
later.
It's about 5-6 hours.
Let's go, bro.
Yes, the
It's
whole
right in the
family
middle
was
of Iowa.
axe murdered. Yep.
We could probably play a show in Iowa.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it like mom, dad, and they had a couple of kids, right?
And some
Yeah.
friends.
Four
And-
kids
yeah, 4
and the
kids.
2 neighbors.
Yeah.
I
Or the two
watched, I
cousins.
They
think,
all got murdered in
Yes.
this house?
Axe murdered.
dude.
By an axe.
Axe.
By a man.
Well, and if it was
The
the
sharpening
name.
in
the
between
dad
bodies.
that did that.
Nope.
No,
They still don't know to this day
They
who
don't
did it.
know for sure.
It's a mystery. It's been on all.
Somebody's been
Because the
tried
dad was
twice.
dead too.
Right.
crazy.
Come
Sarah.
on, Netflix.
Yeah, so
Make a
when-
documentary. Let's go.
So when you go to Villisca, they have always reported covering the mirrors. A lot in Victorian times they did that. When you'd have someone
Interesting.
pass, you cover it so
they
you
can't
don't
get into
invite
it?
the spirits to come in. You want
Gotcha.
them to go to heaven or go wherever they're.
Oh, so like almost traps them like a purgatory
Yeah.
You
sort of.
want them
Yep.
to go. You don't want
think
to
I'm
trap
trapped
them.
in
Because a mirror might give them the opportunity to do something
Exactly.
else, right? Oh man.
Michael Jackson,
But we
try to
don't
tell
know.
us, guys.
Man in the mirror.
At the man in the mirror.
Yeah. He tried, you know, all the information's already out there, you know?
Exactly.
That's crazy. So the Iowa house, that seems really crazy. I know we kind of divert. Like, again, our podcast is very random. It's kind of just conversation and just like, oh, what? Yeah, you know, like for ADD.
Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. That's us.
Squirrel.
That's us. But
I
yeah.
am Doug.
So like that, the Iowa Villisca.
Villisca
Villisca.
Axe murder
Villisca.
house.
And the house
Okay.
is tiny.
It's as big as this podcast room.
This
That's awesome.
big,
2
and
stories, but
then-
yeah,
yeah, it's
very
Very
Anything
fun.
else? So like what else happened with you guys? I know you went on separate occasions,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I had Ina and let's see, I can't remember the other girl's name. Ina, and they were the cousin girls, and I had asked a question about who was there because I kept hearing kids, and I got the name Ina, and then I cannot remember her sister's name right now, but I got both of their names in children's voices, and then another time we had which I'm presuming was the father, but it could have been anybody, but it was a male that says, "Don't talk to them." And it was so,
Ooh.
it wasn't dickish. It was just kind of
like a fatherly.
Leave my kids
protective
alone.
almost.
All right.
exactly. So yeah, we got
Boy.
kids' names, all the kids that were murdered names, and yeah, it's crazy.
So
Yeah, well-
when you guys get
And
like
it's quiet and peaceful. I mean, it feels
like a weird-
peaceful. And,
yeah.
And then you get other ghost hunters that go in and they're like, "There's demons everywhere." And you're
Well-
like, no.
well, that
was the
sells
most
more
peaceful.
merch,
It
Deb.
does, I
Yeah.
know.
that's
Yeah.
the unfortunate
Yeah.
part of this is there's so many people that play it up and add to it, and it's
Well, we
That's
talked about
what I
that Zach
thought.
that Zach Baggins guy, and
How do
oh
you-
my goodness! Like when I was younger, like around 7th, 8th grade, that's when that Tap show was on. Those guys, I don't remember. Grant was one
Ghost
of them.
hunters.
ghost hunters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind
The
of.
OGs.
I also like MTV Fear, which was like way more reality show.
That wasn't even
had-
real at all, but
They
I
had
loved
Godsmack
it.
as the intro. It was awesome. But yeah, I like that's sort of like again, like kind of my introduction was the mainstream sort of ghost hunting show. So like when I talk to you guys, that prayer thing, that before you leave, you have a ritual. That's something that's really interesting to me that I never really considered. Like, hey, yo, don't follow me home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I like that. I like that's something I keep
Yep.
thinking about that you
Yeah,
guys said.
I also do like cleansings and take people's Ouija boards if
Ooh.
they have had problems
I'm
with them,
so
and
glad
I
you
take
said
them and bind them, and I
You just gave me information for one of my friends.
yes, and I
Nice.
get rid
Who
of
should
them.
be listening. She
That
might
is
be listening
something
right now.
I actually wanted to ask y'all about.
Do you have any Ouija boards you can give us?
No, get the fuck out
want
of here.
one.
That was the first fuck I dropped, and
no.
it's
Trying to go in
not
some
coming.
mirror portals.
You don't want any of that.
Yeah, a Ouija
We don't
board,
mess
you
with that
even
stuff.
need
Yeah.
an
Me neither. Me neither. Me neither.
Yeah,
Me neither.
don't screw that shit.
That's what I was
Even the
gonna
Hasbro
ask.
ones at Walmart, they're fine.
No.
You just can't. Okay.
No, it's all about intention. You could make one by drawing it out,
That's
and
the
it's
thing.
your intention.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say is like you hear, oh my God, it's fake. Which I know there's like the crowd pleaser thing where nobody knows that they're moving it, but they're actually moving
I
it.
move it every time.
Like
If you're playing with me, I'm the one
same,
moving it every time.
because I want to scare my friends. But also
I'm gonna write like
I-
poo or ass. Poo. What with this?
Okay, you already gave me a hard look today. I'm giving you the hard look right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I will not mess with those things
Good.
because I just don't trust it. Like, do you feel like so they're legit? And again, it doesn't matter if it's the Hasbro one you pick up at
doesn't.
Target or if it's one that you just wrote down. Do you feel like because they can't always communicate verbally or and that I imagine it just opens shit up, right?
opens
Oh,
it
for sure.
Yep. Because you don't know who you're talking to. I mean, even when we're talking to a supposed spirit that we think we know, Are we really talking to them?
Right,
We
you
don't know.
because it's not like you can see him and confirm. You can be like, oh, cool, that's that guy. Great.
Can I get your social security number?
Yeah, exactly.
It's one. That's how dead I am.
Trying to get a new Ford. Let me get that social. You don't need it. You're a ghost. What are you talking about? Yeah.
So, oh man,
I want to know more about like investigations you guys have done. Like we've been talking here for a minute, and like I kind of want to get more into like investigations. Like what are some of the like your Go ahead.
I was going to say, I wrote a couple down. More of your recent ones from like 2020. I saw you guys went to, so you guys have been to Rhodes Hotel like a gajillion times, obviously.
I don't even know what that is.
It's that.
I know. It's that right there. babe.
Okay,
There,
why
right
don't we start there? Let's go here. How is this place?
So,
Awesome.
yeah, I saw that you guys have been there at least 3 times, if not
Right.
more. But yeah, let's start there. A little background on it, first off, because I don't know much about the place, but it looks cool. I'm going to kill you with these
It
goddamn.
was my first hunt, actually. Going
Really? Okay. So,
Em and I shared a room.
did.
so you guys stayed there too.
We
You
don't
didn't
talk
just
about
visit?
that though.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Getting-
That's the footage and audio we
Yeah,
lost.
that's what, you know, yeah.
It was a room.
Paul's still here, guys.
It was a room with 2 twin beds and baby dolls.
Everywhere, right?
Funk
porcelain
that.
dolls.
I
Yeah.
hate dolls, bro. Not even a vibe. Even the new baby dolls we have now, I'm like, turn their heads around, bro. I'm not for that. They're looking at me.
I have a hard time sleeping places. Like, not gonna lie, last place we stayed, I popped a Xanax just so I could go to bed.
Over at Mineral Springs, you did?
I sure as hell did. I had to drive back the next day. I needed some sleep.
So, okay.
You know
That
what?
place was so calm.
Legsley,
Yes.
I relate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I relate.
I
So
need some
have
sleep.
you, all, the 5 of you who are here now, I imagine you guys have all at least been on one together, because I know you have different
Oh, yeah.
members and stuff, and it probably switches up. As a collective 5-person unit here, what would you say maybe was like, and it could be individual or group answer,
Well,
like,
we're at the Rhodes Hotel. Let's hear more about
I
that.
was going to ask if they had like a
Don't jump
favorite
ahead. We're
haunt.
just talking about that one.
What is our podcast?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
jumping all over the
I'm
place.
sure people want to hear about the
Tell
Rhodes
me
Hotel.
about the Rhodes Hotel then. So it, I see that you guys were most recently there. What, this year or yeah,
year.
yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Twice.
2021,
last
we
year.
kind of don't count. It's like the
Yeah, I
same.
forgot. I
You know?
forgot that we had a whole year last year.
COVID kind of killed last.
We did do Mineral Springs last year, though. in
Okay.
October.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
I
Rhodes before
basically
that.
okay. I wrote down like your most recent ones because I figured those were probably the ones freshest in your mind. So I saw Rhodes Hotel, Mineral Springs, Cheney Mansion, Roth House. So Rhodes Hotel, recent visit. How did it go? Did you guys like have stuff happen? You've been there a couple times, so I imagine
Yeah.
something piqued your interest enough to want to come back, right?
The most that I've experienced happened at Rhodes.
Okay, and that
At
was your
least, yeah.
first haunt with them. So why don't you kind of speak on what you felt when you were there? I guess.
Okay, so one of the first things that I remember was it the SLS camera that we used.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were going to do a Facebook Live. We did a Facebook Live. It's actually, you could probably actually watch it. We put it on our page.
Cool.
And we were walking, and there's a chair that was in the lobby area, and it's like, can you explain the SLS camera first? Because I don't.
Yeah, I would love to know more about gear too, Paul. So yeah, just feel free
It
to
is
jump
a
in.
Connect for the one Connect games.
The Xbox.
Yeah, Xbox, and it gives you the sorry,
Like the heat
skeleton
signature rating.
outline.
Yeah.
No, it gives you an outline like a skeleton,
Yeah.
a stick figure,
Yeah.
and we use it quite a bit and have had a lot of luck with it. Like we were in a room and we look over in the corner and there's someone sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
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 Through an Xbox camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It makes like a stick figure. It's like when you're mapping yourself in to play a game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we're mapping like
Yep.
the room, and like if something's there, it's magic,
Like it maps it.
and it maps it. I mean, we can catch multiple people on there. You can ask them to raise their hand, and
That's what we
sometimes
did.
they'll raise their hand, and
We had
it's
them
really
wave.
cool.
That
That's
is
really cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
did it.
We have the footage on our Facebook.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, I want to. Yeah. Oh, for Paul. yeah. Yeah.
Well, I probably should
Yeah.
have done that.
I hit it.
Yeah, no, that's all right. If it's on the Facebook, we could probably pull that. That's crazy. And
Yeah.
so there's a guy sitting there.
Yeah, you can see. And then you
All right,
can
I'm gonna
see
go to
it
the tips
waving.
Facebook here. So I want to pull that up. Yeah, no, I at 11 o'clock last night I texted these guys. You got anything you want to bring? I'm like, probably should have asked this about 2 months ago, but yeah, let me ask it right
Like
this
we have
second.
a web
I
page.
got it like midnight and I'm like, now?
Yeah, again, I'm the vampire. You know, I wake up at like 5 p.m. usually. So yeah, all right. So I'm gonna go to your Facebook and maybe I could send this over to Brian. But yeah, so I've noticed again, I watch a lot of those those silly little YouTube videos. They're not silly. I think they're amazing actually for the most part. But they do like grids. You know, like I've seen like laser grids.
Yeah,
and,
we
like,
do that
you can
too.
see, like figures that are
We
like
do
in
that.
the grids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that with a PlayStation camera or is
No.
that with? No, I was just kidding with the X. That's crazy though, because
The
you
grids
don't.
are either laser pens or she's got a good one that's gives you a
Yeah, it's a laser level.
it's a laser level.
Yep, I got it at Home Depot. It's actually made for making so you're doing straight when you're doing tile or if you're hanging, a
Hanging
picture.
stuff. Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, we take equipment from other things and try it out. So yeah,
That is
it's
crazy.
cool. It's cool.
And we
I-
had it.
we love it.
We had it at Crown Point, Indiana, at the Crown Point Jail, and they had told us that they would get figures going back and forth at the end of this one room. And she set it all up, and yeah, you could see like footsteps in the laser.
Yeah, black
Being
out the red.
black
Yeah, I was like,
going
What do you
back and
guys? What's
forth.
going through your brains when you're seeing this?
We're like
awesome.
You're like, this is what we're here for.
Yes,
I know. It's like, come on.
it is
That's-
what we're there for. Yeah.
That's actually really awesome to hear. Yeah. So like, I want to see this chair video. Yeah. Brian's got. It's under your video section. You think?
It was probably the second room that we went in, so it's right in the beginning.
Okay. So we'll
first
go
floor.
maybe videos. Go to videos. Right.
Ooh, there's a good one on there from.
Yeah. You guys tell us what ones to
It was
click.
our Facebook Live.
Okay.
It was a Facebook Live.
Yeah, I.
There's a
That's
chair.
trouble finding
What's the chair with the balloon?
February-
That's I believe that's
That's a good one.
The balloon chair.
Yeah, that's Rhodes, I believe.
Yeah, that is Rhodes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, that's the
Rhodes-
entire.
Actually,
That's the entire.
This is
Facebook.
it.
That's
Yeah.
it. Click
Facebook
that.
Live,
Yeah.
We can skim ahead.
Hey, Paul, isn't that the one from Thornhaven where we caught the?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Wow, this is awesome actually.
By the
You
way,
got-
Rhodes
Brian-
Hotel is where
Brian is killing it, by the way. Thanks, dude.
He's the bomb.
You're killing it back there. This look at that.
Thanks, Keanu.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to call him. What is it? What did I want to call him from Metalocalypse? But you said Bridget calls him
Nathan
that.
Destruction?
No,
Toki.
Toki. I
Yeah,
wanted to call you Toki.
I
on
told him
that.
he couldn't.
Yeah, I can't give you any nicknames, Brian. She gives all the nicknames. Okay.
At
yeah.
Rhodes, by the way, there's a room I like to stay in, and I was laying in bed, and something sat on the bed
Oh, that's right.
while I was laying there, and I sat up, looked around, didn't see anything, so I went back to sleep.
That's the room the preacher.
Yeah, it's the preacher's room.
How late do you guys investigate when you go? Because I know you mentioned sleeping with Xanax earlier, which is
It
long
kind
as
of
we
depends on
Lazily?
how.
It
It kind
depends
of
on the
depends on how
place.
busy it is.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes we're just tired. Sometimes we've worked
we
and
just
then we
crashed.
drive.
I get that.
But the room he stayed in with the preacher's room, I've only been to Rhodes once. Jason and I walked in there when we first got there, and you could tell, like, just walking in, and Jason's not really sensitive, so if he feels it,
Yeah.
like walking into that room, it was like so oppressive and heavy, like I couldn't breathe, and we hung around for a little bit. That's my shoes, and then
Six shoe game.
thanks.
Yeah.
We came out and went back in. It was like the air was just so much lighter in there. It was crazy.
That is crazy.
I thought we hit that
It
right in
was
the
actually
beginning, did we
before,
not?
So the-
Yeah.
Before back it
Yeah,
up.
it's
back it up a
before.
bit.
Leslie's holding the camera.
It was
though.
pretty much right after.
That's the SLS.
Yeah, there
That's
we
the
go.
SLS.
Oh wow.
It is right there.
There he is.
There it's waving.
He's waiting.
So we're pointing.
Wow.
That's being pointed at like a chair. That's kind of over by.
It was behind a check-in desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Christine.
Yeah.
I love y'all's demeanor. Hey, what's up, man?
Awesome.
That's crazy.
That was a cool place.
One of the cool things when I first got that camera is I started up my house, and I was just looking because I'd never done with it,
You
played
don't
with it
shit where
before,
you eat, Paul.
and I got a person standing, but I also got a dog,
There's
and we've had two
ghost
dogs.
dog.
Yes, a ghost.
That's interesting.
We've
'cause
had two dogs die in our house,
Oh,
and well, pets.
right.
R.I.P. little buddies.
And,
Rest in paradise, sweet kings.
But the people like, you said, what do you know? You're sensitive. My parents have visited every now and then. They're both deceased, and my wife and I'll just say, "Oh, Dad's here."
Cool.
And you just kind of feel
Bloodshot.
that they're there. But
I think I can understand that too because in 2019 my grandmother passed, my great aunt Jackie passed in like 2007, and they were like my other two moms, and then like sometimes there won't be anything that happens, but sometimes I'm like, I think Mimi's here, and that's what I used to call my grandma. And I just feel her. You know, you just know somebody's there, even if you can't see them or there's nothing happening. You just know, and I think that's kind of a cool thing.
That's our room.
we also knew.
All right. So y'all go
they left.
sleep at this place.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was our room.
No,
Not
Yeah,
all.
no thanks, man.
It depends
No,
on the
I ain't
place.
sleeping. I'll go with you.
You know
but
what?
I'm
They
staying
had
up till the sun
fans,
comes
which
up.
was nice.
We can stay up together. I'm always up.
You're
I
always
don't
up-
sleep.
yeah.
I don't sleep.
Well, that's kind
ever.
of what I was asking earlier because you guys go and go to sleep, but like my experiences are always super late. So like I understand day jobs, things like that. You go and you're tired.
I'm old.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the music box. Yeah, love that.
So at that house, Deb was downstairs in the morning, and Emma and I were
They were
sleeping, and we
sleeping.
heard something yell, and I was like, "What the hell?" And then she heard it too. It was just a crazy house.
And I kept hearing somebody walking up there.
There
And
were
I-
kids
It was
running
probably
up.
me peeing because I think I peed about 50 times that
I
night.
heard kids running up and
did.
down the hallway, and I know they were kids because the steps are pretty quick.
Yeah, you can tell.
and they're
the difference
lighter,
in- yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Okay, so this is the Rhodes Hotel.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the backstory here? Like, I know we had the murder house earlier. So, like, what is it's just a piece of history. It's been around for a lot of years, so it's just got a lot of like
There were some
energy.
deaths.
Yeah.
There's deaths.
A priest killed himself,
Ooh.
hung himself, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. It's in
hung himself-
Atlanta, Indiana,
That's rough.
and it's
Yeah.
right by a railroad tracks. And people used to, stop there and stay. It only has like 8 rooms.
Right.
And supposedly, because this is what you'll get wherever you go, Al Capone stayed there.
Yeah, of course, you get all the stories.
In the East Coast,
man got
everything's
around.
Washington slept here, but
Yeah.
Midwest,
Right.
it's Al Capone was here.
Of course.
It's also a brothel.
Yeah.
So I-
Oh, awesome!
that's
so
right.
that's
Yeah,
definitely
it was
some
a
good
brothel.
energy. in that
Extra
place then, yeah.
sicker, guys.
Yeah. Did they have the dolls during that time? Because that would be sort of
Yeah, really.
Weird.
yeah.
You'd have to cover their eyes.
Yeah, yeah, turn them around.
They see
That's why
too
they're
much
haunting
as it
you.
is.
That's a REM pod right there.
Yeah, so tell me about, okay, so what's the gear? What is the gear that's in this video right now? What is that more used for?
So that's a REM pod, and that thing can detect either heat change, if it gets hotter, colder, or if it can static. If you get close to it, it'll start making. It's actually pretty obnoxious when it goes off, but it just like makes all this noise. See, like I'm touching it there, and it'll light up, and so we'll set that in hallways. We'll just kind of sit it around wherever we think we might catch something and wait to see what happens. I think did we use your grid there too? I think we did in the
Down
hallway.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great
That's
for hallways.
That's so crazy.
It is so fascinating to me.
Now, do you leave all this stuff on while you're sleeping?
Some.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
Some of those
Yeah.
the voice recorders.
Maybe depends
Paul
on the
will
situation.
keep usually a voice recorder on because
Awesome. And I know you said you did have some good EMPs?
EVPs.
EVPs?
We actually have a really
Eddie Van
awesome
Halen?
video that I got excited about when you had the Facebook page up.
Yeah. That's Brian. Brian,
Yeah,
that's-
we'll pull it back.
That's
Okay,
him back there.
Brian.
Yeah, yeah. Brian's killing it.
This is like one
I'm
of
just sitting
my
here.
very favorite, the Thornhaven one, the
Oh, I wasn't
orb.
there.
I wasn't there.
It was me, Paul, and Christine.
Oh, that's the one you guys showed me, and I'm like, eh.
Oh,
No,
Would you
that,
be-
that
it's
one,
weird.
No, that one is.
It's weird.
I'm not.
It's that one
that's
that's it's
orbs, but this one was definitely interesting.
that one. Yep.
Awesome.
So let me set it up. Wait, is that it?
Yeah, because we don't.
That's the SLS.
No, that's
No,
not.
that's the
That's
SLS.
that's not it.
That's still cool, though.
Those
You
are people
can
dancing?
see
That's an
the
act-
people
that's an actual
sitting there.
person.
Yep.
Oh, that's a real
I
person.
believe that was an next.
Oh.
So
Oh, go down a little more.
that's interesting, though, because we saw that the apparition was doing this exact same thing,
Right.
but there wasn't a person there. So that's actually a really good demonstration to
Yeah.
show how accurate that is.
I don't see it.
This is crazy.
Is it in the middle?
Oh yes, in the middle.
Normally, we don't
Yes.
take orbs too
There's
seriously.
We
There's a
don't.
wow face on there.
No,
we don't. Okay, so let me set this up. We were at a place called Thornhaven in Indiana. It is out in the middle of nowhere on a hill. It was pouring. All the windows are boarded up. So there's no light coming into this house at all. It was Paul and then Christine and I. We take a lot of break. We do a session or two and then we'll take a break. We'll go get something to drink, use the bathroom. We had actually just gone into our breakout room and I was looking at the cameras and I saw this and I'm like, what the hell was that? So I pulled my camera out and I started taping because do you see the spot?
Yes.
Okay. I started taping because I'm like, okay, this is really weird. Maybe it's a bug but there was no light shining into the house because everything was boarded up.
Right.
So if you watch, it just kind of
And the movement of it.
chills.
Yeah.
Because usually bugs are like, flying around real crazy. Sorry, I get really excited about
No,
this.
no,
This is my
that's
favorite
right.
video.
That's what I was talking about earlier with the doors. Like you could just
So
kind
you'll-
of tell the movement of things.
So
are
we're
not
watching
normal.
it while it's doing this. I'm taping it. It leaves the room, and then it comes back and it gets bigger.
Interesting. Well, and you can tell the difference between like a dust particle.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
There is.
Yeah.
I mean, orbs are overrated,
Overrated balls of shit.
Yeah.
But this one is weird.
Overrated balls of
So
shit.
it's
I
gonna-
love that.
It's gonna come back
But-
here in a minute.
And like I said, I'm not a huge fan.
Here it
There
comes.
it is.
And it
Look
is
at that.
bigger.
This thing it really intrigued me. And
Yeah, that's not how a
I've-
bug moves. And you could almost see it's like
Or
leaving
dust.
like streaks.
And then it looks like it's got a little hat on here in a minute. Like it gets pointy.
oh my
Yes.
Well, you can see where originally it was just this little circle. Now it's kind of got this like
It's got a little
fin.
shape
It's
to
like
it.
gotten a little
So
bit
Christine is going to run in here and just because, like I said, we're watching this live. She's gonna run and blow to see if she can like make it. You know,
more,
if
make
it's
sure it's not dust or
right.
fuzz.
Because
Sure.
see, it's got a little hat. Look at this little hat.
What a
You were
gentleman.
on something that night.
He's like,
weren't you?
I've got the tinfoil for you.
I think I watched it like it's getting bigger and then it's just kind of chilling and then Christine will come running in there in a minute. There she is, blows.
you know what's interesting?
and
The
it's like,
more
oh,
you're-
I'm out.
Well, she blew and it moved.
Yeah, and she's
the
like,
more aware
got-
you
but
are
it went
of
down.
it seems like it got bigger. So the more energy you were putting into it, it seems like it was manifesting bigger.
I love this video. Don't ruin it for me, Jason.
It's intriguing to me. And
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not an orbs
Yeah.
fan at all because they're so easily
I
exposed.
like how Atreyu is the next. I
love that
You want
song.
to listen to a metal band real quick? Yeah.
yeah, I've caught
There you go. All right, here we go. We're back to Atreyu. No, that's interesting. So the orbs, I always notice like, okay, again, we watch a lot of YouTube videos, and right
Dust.
before there's activity,
people are moving
there's like
around.
orbs. Like you see orbs, and then like you hear like a loud bang. Like it's like sort of like the manifestation of that energy is getting stronger and stronger. We watched this documentary. It was with one of the ghost hunters. It was called The House in Between. Have you guys seen that? It's on Amazon.
Yes, I just watched
loved
it.
that
It was
actually.
good.
I thought that was really good. They had like a baseball on the stairs, and like there would be an orb, and then all of a sudden the baseball would move. And I just feel like that's like the precursor
Yeah.
to energy. Is that something that you seem to?
I have caught in picture. It's too bad it's not on here, but orb forming. I was down in Diamond, Illinois, with some of the other groups that I work with, and like we said, when we see an orb, we're like, it's a light, it's a car going by.
Dust, flashlight,
This,
whatever.
Actually, I got it in 3 pictures. You can see it forming full, and you could see a face in it. I'll have to send it to you guys.
Yes,
Yeah, I would
please
love to see
do.
that.
Please
really
do.
cool. And then right after that happened, we had a shadow person walk right by the door, and it used to be a bar. And when you're walking up, it would be an up stairs. So the landing is down, and so the spirit would have had to been 3 foot tall for us to see it if it was outside
Right.
because of the way it was going. And that's when we saw it walk right past. It was right after that happened.
Do you think so when you see like the shadow figures or like like a apparition, like sometimes I notice they do look smaller. Like it's like I don't know if it's child or like I don't know if the physics of humans relate to spirits.
Yeah. What does our energy do? I mean,
Yeah.
Does it small? I mean, we're
What
always,
does our energy do, Mom?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's above my pay grade.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I
think
love that.
It's perspective too on
Yep.
what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because you can't really, because it has no 3D features mostly.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, it's
So
flat.
you can't really judge distance and all that stuff when you're looking at them.
Yeah.
You can tell it's
So,
a
yeah.
person shape because that's what we want to see.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
That's what our mind tells us it is, but it
Right.
might not even
And
be.
your
that,
mind
right?
Exactly.
can play tons of tricks on
Like,
you.
will I still be tall when I pass? Like, will you still be short?
I
It's
hope
only your legs,
hell up.
Leslie. It's just only your legs
I'm
are
gonna
gonna
have
walk
ghost
around.
legs.
She's just gonna have a bottom
That
half.
scissors, or was that a person? I'm not sure. Yeah.
Legsley.
Yeah.
Legs.
That's crazy. Do you got okay? So we were at the Rhodes Hotel. What else did you guys do within the last year? What's another investigation y'all did?
Mineral.
Mineral Springs.
Mineral
Was
Springs.
the
Alton, Illinois.
That was the last one, correct?
Yeah, that's our most.
Yeah.
How did that one go for y'all?
Really good.
killed us.
You killed it?
No, COVID kind of.
Oh, COVID.
Yeah,
we were
COVID
supposed to
also.
go-
I make my money by playing gigs, so you don't have to explain
Yeah.
COVID to me. Yeah, yeah.
I think the best thing about Mineral Springs was actually, as we've said, Deb doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
don't sleep.
She was laying in bed, or laying on, we had air mattresses, and at the night she was watching, there were a set of doors, and they were opening and closing on their own.
Right.
And then she saw an apparition go down the stairway of a woman
Yep.
in a
Blue
dress.
and white dress. I could see her.
Oh wow, it was color.
It
That was
colored.
actually part of the.
And I didn't know
Yeah.
that because I was
Yeah.
not I didn't go with them when they went on the tour. Usually there's tours, and I don't like to hear that stuff.
Right.
And
You want to go on fresh.
Exactly.
Deb, you and I are kindred spirits because I feel like, yeah, we'll both stay up all night and be like, yeah. That's crazy, though. You don't really hear about apparitions with color that much.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to witness me either get pulled out of my.
You fell out of
did.
Yeah.
She
I-
screamed and
I felt.
I don't know.
I felt like I got jerked off my air mattress, but I had taken my Xanax, so I just crawled back up and went to bed. I was like, well, that was strange, and
Yeah.
then fell back asleep.
I know I'm like,
I didn't even
"Damn,
hear you."
Girl.
You didn't hear that?
No, I didn't hear you at
Like, I felt like I got.
Maybe Jason took his
Like,
Xanax too.
I was right
I was
next
out.
to her.
Yeah, she was right. I felt like I got jerked off the bed. Like, it felt like I got pulled
Pulled
off
off?
the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just on a little.
Phrasing's important sometimes, you know? That's all, you know.
You got jerked off in the bed. All right.
Sounds like a good night to me.
That's our Leslie.
Yeah, no. No, I'm just
I was just on a twin mattress, air mattress though, and it was weird. And it
was crazy.
It
I
was
watched
really,
it.
it was
It happened.
really weird. But like I was just like, okay, I'm going back to bed. So I crawled back up there and
Yeah.
went back to sleep. So
You know, sometimes I think about that. Like like I said, with the experiences in our house, I'm like, I got all these cameras I should set up at night. But I'm
Don't.
like, nah,
Don't do
yeah,
that.
yeah. See,
mother-in-law-
exactly.
I want to know.
Exactly.
My mother-in-law
Exactly.
and father-in-law both passed in the house before we bought it. The house was built by their family, my husband's family, and we would get occasionally things that would happen. And yeah, like I said earlier, when I said don't eat where you don't shit where you eat, I never go over and do
Sometimes it's
anything
convenient, Mom.
I don't
you know?
mess around in my house either.
Out with the old, in with the new, you know?
I don't want to mess around with if they come and visit,
Yeah.
great. I don't want them to have to come.
Well, it's,
So I'm not, I don't do it.
You're not
in my
inviting
house.
them.
I don't.
Yeah.
see,
Exactly.
like the phrasing, like you even said, just if they come to visit. Like, I think that's such an awesome mindset to be in, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think, like there's the people who like provoke and like they're just, they want their views.
Right.
And then there's people who are just genuinely curious about like, hey, what do you like? That's kind
I
of
got slapped in the face by my mother-in-law, and we know it was her. I had a really bad habit of chewing on gobstoppers before I'd go to sleep,
yeah,
and this was when
yeah. You could, yeah. That's
Like
that's
from Willy
dangerous.
Wonka?
Yeah.
They're never ending, as far as I know.
So that's when Ambien first came.
I'll go
around.
ambient deep with y'all for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I had gobstoppers, and I started to fall asleep, and I felt ice cold hand hit me across the face, and my husband was like, "Why'd you jerk like that?" And he goes, "I smell my mom's perfume." Sure enough, I had a red mark across my face, but
Wow.
it was a good thing.
She was stopping
Yeah.
you from choking.
Exactly.
Yeah, she was protecting you.
Exactly.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
That made me. I felt like
It
my
was.
shoulders tingle when you
Right.
just said that.
Yeah, and we don't, if they come and visit, hey, you built the house, it's yours. But
Yeah, there are.
but yeah, our pets, stuff like that, they can come, but we don't ask for it.
Yeah.
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 You're invited
there-
anytime.
Yeah.
There are a lot more haunted places than you know because people will not talk about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Since we started this club and people see my shirts or whatever, and they'll start telling me, "Oh, this place or that place," and my chiropractor sister lives in a haunted farmhouse, and they see the farmer,
Yeah.
the deceased farmer, and I've had a banker talk to me about it, a jeweler talk to me about it, and it's just like, yeah, there's
Just different walks of life. See, and
Yes,
isn't
but
that
they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to look like they're nuts.
Yeah.
But
We don't
are.
mind.
Relatable.
Yeah.
Relatable.
But
Yeah.
don't
you
mind.
guys know that they're not nuts. So
Right.
once they
Oh.
find out, oh, you do this shit, let me lay it out for you right quick.
What is the basis of sanity? That's all I got to ask. Who's telling me what's crazy and what's not? Okay.
Right.
How do you know all the answers? You know what I mean?
There are also a lot of crazy people because I get those
Absolutely.
calls.
Oh, yeah. And then
That's a whole nother podcast,
whole
Paul.
nother-
Yeah, I want to just hear about the false leads.
Yes, but,
no, that's interesting. So, like, what is Have you guys ever been somewhere and like, oh, this isn't going well, and then all of a sudden something happens? Like, has there been moments like that, or?
Usually it's when we get back and review the evidence and you listen to the recordings. And, we'll go places and hear nothing.
it's quiet.
Yeah.
Quiet. And we're like, And then you start listening to stuff and there's all kinds of voices and
Sure.
all that. Matter of fact, one of my stories I always like to tell is one of the first place we went to as a club, and I didn't even want to go because I thought this was nuts. It was a strip mall
Okay.
in Bolingbrook.
We said club and then strip mall, so I was
Yes,
like,
well, no,
you're
our-
almost in my
our
territory there, Paul.
club. And anyways, we went to the strip mall.
Nobody was
And
looking
it
forward to
was-
it.
Because I mean,
Because it's a strip mall,
it's
right?
a strip mall. And it was a chiropractor's office
Mm-hmm.
actually. And we go in, and there's just like nothing going on. Not that I can tell. Even though later on someone we was sensitive said, oh yeah, it was all very busy. Well, we got back and started listening to the recordings, and we got tons of recordings.
Really?
Got a little girl's voice going, my toys, and all this stuff going on. And we found out that the businesses on either side were having all kinds of stuff going on, but they wouldn't talk about it. Like a lot of people will not talk about it.
Yeah.
And then what we found out is that the strip mall was built on the side of an old farmhouse.
I was going to ask you about the land. I was going to ask you about the land. I've saw poltergeist before.
Exactly.
You know what's up.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
It was all kinds of stuff. But when we were there, I thought nothing was going on.
We did see some lights in the hallway that was kind of weird.
There were a few weird things.
A doll fell over and
Them damn dolls.
nothing
again.
definitive.
So don't get doused. Like that's kind of like my sort of takeaway from all this.
PSA
It's just like
2021.
don't get like
Don't fuck with dolls.
Yeah, I'm not.
Most ghost hunters don't like dolls.
No.
They're messed.
They just do not.
Bro.
like
Clowns are
dolls.
awesome, but dolls?
My daughter.
Disagree, Mom.
Yeah, there's some
Clowns
people that don't
either.
like clowns either.
Clowns, huh? Yo, if I see a ghost clown, I'm out, guys. Like I'm brave, but if that
Pennywise.
yeah.
Right.
Yo, if I see
Pennywise,
a
I'll be
clown,
like, yeah, you know, Alexander Skarsgård in there. What's going on?
Well, yeah.
I see any clown, jovial or not, I'm be like, nah, I'm
There
out.
weren't a lot of dolls at the Rhodes Hotel, though. I mean, there were
Just that one.
some.
In the
but
room,
not-
there were some.
Just in
yeah.
that one room.
They took them out. They took them out.
So
True, that room.
The
they took
one
'em all out.
hotel.
Oh, did they?
Not hotel. The place down in Peoria. What was it called? It was the
Cheney?
TB hospital.
Was it Cheney?
No, this was
Pollock?
years.
I've heard about Cheney
Pollock.
Hospital. Yeah.
Pollock had a ton of dolls in there.
It's a hospital or just a place?
It was a TB
It was a
hospital, former
Oh,
hospital, and they were
shit.
using it as a haunted house now. And they had a room just.
What
we took my
idiots.
daughter on that
What
one.
dummies.
Yeah, you'll find this kind of funny. Is they had us set up for a haunted house for Halloween, and we hated it because
Right.
Yeah.
we want ghosts. We don't want to deal
Right.
with zombies.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, get out of here. Yeah, I'm not trying to do zombie. Yeah, that's interesting. So, okay, out of all your haunts, we spent some time with the Roadhouse. The say it again.
Velisca.
Velisca. Gosh, my memory's okay, but that's a
You
hard.
should check out the history on that place too.
Yeah, the Velisca Murder House. That one's
there's a
really
book on
intriguing
it.
to
It's
me.
sad.
No,
It is
yeah.
a
Because
book.
that's
There's a book on it.
That's one of the larger unsolved mysteries
day,
of
yeah.
the Midwest. Is because they don't know who did it. They don't know if some guy just came. I
have
have watched
theories
some
and all
stuff
that?
on this show
Yeah.
or on this
Happened,
house before.
I think it was June 13th or 12th of 18 something, because I remember the last time I was there was like the 160th birthday or
Wow.
or
Okay.
anniversary. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, that place was the very first place where I've ever experienced where I've gotten the chills and just felt that dread since I've been investigating. This is the very first place because I don't feel that shit.
Like the
So when
dread and stuff.
Yeah,
He doesn't
just
feel-
heaviness. Like in
Hey,
your
me neither,
chest.
Jason. Me neither. I'm dead inside, man.
Oh,
Yeah, it's awesome.
not so much dead inside.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't get them feelings.
Yeah, sure.
So
sure,
when
sure,
it
sure. You're
actually
like a
happens-
logical,
there.
rational sort
Right.
of thinker.
So
Yeah, yeah.
when it
yeah.
actually happens, it makes me.
You should have gone to Fox Hollow Farms with us. That
Let's hear Fox Hollow. Come on, Leslie.
Fox Hollow Farms is in Indiana, and it
Damn
is
Indiana.
where I know.
Don't go. Okay, no
we end up in
Dalles, no
Indiana a
Indiana.
lot.
No
Indiana.
Dalles, no
We
Indiana.
end up in
Okay.
Indiana a lot, but Fox Hollow Farms is where Herb Baumeister lived, a serial killer.
Oh, sick.
And he would go into Indianapolis and he would pick up men, bring them back to his very beautiful Tudor mansion. It's, family lives there now. They had a pool in the basement and a bar. He would bring them back there. He would take them to the pool. He would drown them, strangle them. And then he would put them in the woods out back or bury them. How many bodies? I think they found 11 bodies.
Yeah, but they thought it might be as many as 17
Yeah.
in the woods.
So we
He didn't
actually.
bury 'em, or he just let the bodies.
He would
lay
tell
out
the
there.
Toss them out there.
He would pour
Yeah,
some
it's good for
bleach on 'em.
composting, you know,
He would
if you're
tell the
trying to be
kids
more
stay out of there.
environmentally safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was married with kids, and we tell his family, "Don't go in the woods.
Yeah, you have allergies. Stay out of
You
there.
have allergies. Don't go in the woods."
So that place was actually really hard for me because it was so recent. Like you can't help be pissed off when you're there. Like I felt mad.
So, like, when about time?
This was in the
frame?
90s.
90s.
Oh,
okay.
geez.
So you
90s
can
murders.
go look this guy up, and he ended up actually.
What was this one again, Leslie?
The Fox Hollow Farms.
Fox Hollow Farm.
There's actually been movies on it and books written, but he ended up going to Canada and killing himself when the cops started like,
Bye.
He
yeah,
also-
bye Felicia.
Figured out. Yeah.
They-
See you
that's
later.
crazy.
He figured it
Yeah.
out. He was the I-70 killer. So not only did he kill people at his
Oh,
house,
yeah, I-70.
before he owned this house, he killed, was it 50-something
Yeah.
people?
Wow.
So-
I-70.
He's professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a hard house. I feel like feeling wise, I was angry while I was there because it was so fresh.
Yeah.
You know, I know it was a
Did
90s.
you get like that deep sort of like that kind of like
was just
oppressive sort
sad.
of like Jason was mentioning
Yeah,
earlier?
it
Like
was
it's just like
Yeah, it was
Going
sad.
down to
I was
the
pissed
pool
off.
area where we was killing all the people.
you could just feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, going down the stairs, we all said it just feels.
Well, it's the
Bad
killing room.
We
You know
did
what I
a
mean?
we did a ghost box session in the
Perfect, because we wanted to ask
Our
you
best
about
friend
that.
Mel was wondering because
We did a
they do ghost box all the time when we go to these. We try to when we tour as a band, we try to stay at like creepy places.
Oh, awesome.
So like we're not ghost hunters, we're a band. But
Yeah.
like we try to find somewhere creepy.
You're
to
a
stay
band
for
of
the
ghost
night.
hunters.
Yeah, yeah, we're a band of misfits.
Our bassist, just a little background. She is very in tune with the paranormal. She is half Native American. She has ties to the land. She is the one who told Andy that he has a spirit on his back always. And I know that it's true because she and I were talking about this amongst ourselves, and she's asking me all these questions like this and this and this. I was like, bro.
Stuff that's not common knowledge that
Yeah, she
like
didn't
found through
know.
a ghost box. So like I would love to know more about this ghost box.
Yes.
So we did a ghost. Were we using the
I think we were just using a pure ghost box, not the spirit.
not the spirit? I felt like we had-
Spirit portal?
Yeah, it's awesome. It looks like an old radio. It's cool.
It works with the ghost box, and you
It's
can.
got like tubes in it? Like a
No,
like an
but it
old
looks like an
guitar
old
amp?
it looks like an
and
old
it's-
one. It's awesome.
I don't know why, but they make them look that way.
But we
You
were
can
yeah.
adjust it so when you hear things, you take like most ghost boxes, you're da 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 da, and you get rid of that noise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
me sleepy.
Yeah. 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 Calms the
Makes me
brain.
sleepy. But we were doing a ghost box session in the bar area, and it was rumored that he would set up cameras in the vents, and then he would film himself choking these and killing these men. So we're doing this ghost box session, and we're saying, "Blah blah, are you here?" And he's like, "We catch, I'm here." Like clear as day.
Oh.
They never found the recordings, by the way. He took them to Canada, and the day before he committed suicide, a cop actually pulled him over, whatever, and saw the car was full of recordings. But they weren't looking for him at the time. And the next day he committed suicide, all the recordings were gone.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But he had recorded all these killings, and
Took them with him to
was
then do what with them?
Now, you know, I know this is going to be kind of like a little bit off track, but like speaking of this man here, like I watched the show Dexter, and he would have like the blood,
love
like the
Dexter.
blood slides,
They're
you know, like
coming
his
back.
trophies. Do you think maybe like, even though he compiled all this footage, it was just for him? So maybe it's buried somewhere. Maybe it's sitting next to one of those rotting corpses.
So
out
he
there. I don't
kept a skull that he
yeah, he
said
just keeps going.
One of
he
his
would keep
victims?
skull. Yeah, and he would say that it was like, I don't know where he would tell him he would get it at, but the family didn't think anything of it. It was so bizarre. And to this day, the family that lives there now, actually I think it's for sale, maybe. They're into what does he do for a living? He does
He was like a coroner.
like a coroner.
Yeah,
they still
morticians.
find pieces of bone out there
yeah,
in
they
the
go out
woods.
walking through the woods and they find pieces of bone.
And do you think
They
that?
gather them up and give them to the police.
Do you think like the haunting is residual with tied to those
No.
physical? It's just the energy and
I
just the
think
murders.
I don't think it's residual. I think it's an intelligent
Intelligent.
haunt.
Crazy.
The fact that he was like, I'm here, and then we caught some other stuff in the apartment building. Because there was an apartment over the garage. Like,
You'll have to let me listen to some of that stuff. I haven't.
it's probably on the website.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say that because Paul had mentioned in the chat over the past week that you do have some EVPs. Got it. Terminology, bro. I'm training in
Electronic
ghost
voice
hunting.
phenomena.
Okay,
Nice.
I knew the first two.
You know, I always just from those shows, they're just like EVPs. So what one? It doesn't have to be the one you're mentioning here, but like,
Is that one on there? The
I don't
Fox
know
Hollow?
if Fox Hollow's there yet or not. I've got it, but
Ashmore was pretty cool because it sounded like kids. Yeah. That was cool.
that was the one I kept.
I think everything you guys is
Kids laugh.
doing is
Yeah.
cool. Just full disclosure, like
You should come.
nah, nope.
You wouldn't do it?
Fuck no. Hell no, bro. Like I'm good enough with Wallace at my crib. Like that's all I need. I made the joke earlier that like, you know, when we first started like experiencing things or when I lived with my mom and I had stuff there, I was terrified all the time. But now I'm just like, well, I know they're not trying to like do anything. So that's why like I joke, but I was serious. Like I was trying to go to bed last night and my blankets were all getting jacked up. I'm pretty sure he was messing with the drawers in my side table because it's always on my side. It's always got to be on my fucking side. And I was like, bro, come on. I got to work tomorrow. Can you stop it?
So I got an interesting question for you. So you said your apartments are old, right?
I don't know exactly how old, but I know that they are old. Also, we live in a basement apartment, and we are less than a football field away from a pretty big cemetery, which is also kind of older.
Okay, that's something.
That's cool.
Next
Right.
question. I see you collect a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a lot of antiques in your place?
Okay, you want to know something? I was going to ask you about this.
'Cause
My
there's different types-
violin,
There's types of haunts.
my violin is from the year 1898.
Oh my God.
I didn't feel like I could shred violin until I put that thing into my hands. So I know that it has energy in it. Whatever it is.
Attachment haunts is what we call it.
Exactly.
I thought about that when you were talking about your house earlier. I was
Oh,
like,
I've been
Rachel's
waiting.
violins
yes,
at the same
yes. I think that we experience more than one in our place. I think he's got his dude that's always with him. That's fine. But
What's
then,
up, dude?
But then sometimes I'll feel that the energy's different. You know what I mean? Sometimes we thought that maybe we had children. And again, we're so close to a cemetery. We're in the ground. We're
Yeah, our
not much
apartment-
higher than they are.
The name
you
3
know?
Feet Deep comes because our apartment is a basement apartment and it's 3 feet deep. We're also in our
Got it.
30s, so it's like a double meaning. Like we're halfway in the grave.
Right.
And like that's the
Halfway
thing. I'm
in
like,
the grave. Holy crap.
Turning
if I keep going the way, I'm more than half. If I keep going as hard as I
no,
go, no
you're
sleep,
lucky you're gonna
all
live
coffee.
till 110, bro.
Yeah, probably. I'll be cursed. no, it's all right.
Yeah,
But
what
yeah,
you were, sorry, what you were saying about the violin. You think about a musical instrument, it becomes part of you. A
Oh, yeah.
violin, you are in the tune.
You
The tune
put
you are
A lot of
yourself
energy goes
into it.
exactly. So
Absolutely.
You love, yeah. So I can see somebody being attached, especially to a violin.
I love
Yes.
that instrument.
yeah, it's weird. It sounds
I
like
have-
it sounds like there's ghosts in it.
You
Like,
were
I don't know how else.
it
to
was
explain
meant for you.
I've thought of.
Do you actually play it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
yeah, I play. So I had a violin. Some idiot at a place we were supposed to play knocked it off a table.
Musicians play bars.
It
Bars have
broke.
drunks.
I used to bartend and wait.
Drunks knock stuff over.
And
So you know.
Up, so yeah,
Yes.
I know. Yeah.
So, and just through a person we knew, they're like, hey, I actually happen to have this one. I'm not doing anything with it. I ended up giving them some money for it, just, throughout time anyways. But yeah, 1898, and I can't see myself playing any other violin ever. Like, I might get other ones for fun, but like that one is so attached to me, and I'm so attached to it now. I wish I knew
And
more
you don't know.
about it.
Yeah, that's
I
exactly
don't
the
know
thing.
anything about
How many hands is that?
Waverly is
it.
awesome.
No
Gone
clue.
through.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know.
Who's played it?
And right, and like you said, there's so much feeling and emotion that goes into playing an instrument, as you guys already know.
Yeah.
So, like when that person who used that passes on,
That energy.
that's what they hold on to.
Yeah.
And that's what we call attachment haunts. There's variations of haunts.
Yeah.
That's an attachment haunt, and you might have some experience with.
Oh,
some of that
it
going
very
on
well
right now
could
in
be.
your place.
When did I get that thing? Summer of
69.
2018.
Summer of
That's
Oh,
the year I was
boy.
born.
Yeah, my first
Great song.
real 4-string. I sing for a living. That's how I make my money. I'm
No,
so
I
good,
got
right?
I got it about 2.5 years ago.
Are we counting 2020 or not counting
No,
2020?
We
20 does.
okay,
It's like
so
three-
1.5 years ago.
Screw that.
And I don't know. It is just very much like I feel motivated by that instrument. I can make sounds on that violin that I have not ever been able to make on other instruments.
Yeah.
You know,
Brought it.
Is there like a serial number on there or something that you can kind of maybe track some history?
When you
on
look
it or
in,
no?
when you look
Or is
inside of it,
just
says
so
old, bro.
Just old.
yeah,
It has like
Older
a
than
It does have a date. Like
there's a date and there is a brand, but
That's
there's
it?
nothing
else.
else.
German.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's German.
It sucks. I would love to know more about it.
Gotta
but
go on an Antique Roadshow.
Ooh, that's
they'd be like, this is dirt. You can't have anything. I'd be like, bro.
The guy
come
just
on."
smashes it. Actually, he's just like garbage. Yeah, no.
It might not
I do
have
want to
any-
get back to these EVPs though, because we kind of got off track here. It's like 9:07. I figured we'd wrap up about 9:30. So if like there's anything else you guys would like to cover, 9:30 is 2 hours. So I'm not kicking anybody out, but Brian's been back here working super hard. But yeah, so I would like to. Okay, so. You briefly mentioned Waverly earlier, and that's a pretty well-known haunted place. So what about any of these? You guys got a lot up here. Like, is there anyone specifically you think would be awesome to play, or you're like?
I
they're
mean,
all
there's
good?
one called Death Tunnels.
Well-
so
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I'm intrigued by the Death Tunnel, if nothing else. I mean,
I
Yeah.
have my own collection that's not on this website, but yeah, we've caught some very interesting things at that place.
all
I
right.
got growled out there for the first time.
You got a growl?
So before
got
we play
growled.
this, though, I'm familiar with Waverly, but would somebody mind explaining Waverly for the people who maybe not know what Waverly? It's a hospital.
Waverly is an old tuberculosis hospital
Yeah.
in Louisville, Kentucky.
Lots of death.
What's really bizarre about it, it's not like out in the middle of nowhere. you're like in Louisville.
You can go get a little slugger and then see some ghosts.
Right,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
turn the corner at a golf course and go up, and you're right there.
Wow.
Right.
And there's been estimates I've read from anywhere from 10,000 to 60,000 people died there.
Wow.
Back in the old days for TB, they used to have like open air rooms, and they'd wheel you out into the porch area and get air. And the death tunnel is there was a chute that went down from the hospital down to the
It was for
Just the bottom of the hill. It's like 500 feet.
supposedly
That's a
where
big
the-
tunnel, though.
It's
500 feet.
huge.
That's all.
Yeah,
that's
it
pretty
went
long.
from near the morgue, and that's where they would take
Well, and
bodies out because they didn't want people to see how many people were dying.
Yeah, they didn't want
That's
to
what I was
wheel them
going
through
to
the
say.
regular
It was
course.
a more
Hide.
discreet way because
Right.
hundreds of people.
Yeah.
I'm kind of familiar with it. I've seen different things on the place, and like hundreds and hundreds of people passed away in there. You know what I mean? So I can only imagine it is ripe.
So that's the
spirits.
Waverly tuberculosis. That's like a lung condition, right?
Yep.
correct.
Long
Yeah, it's scary to talk about during COVID world, but yeah.
Well, we have vaccine for that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. That's
yeah.
true.
We do. It's still around though.
So okay, so we have the death tunnel. That's the 500 feet chute. The death chute. What did you guys capture here? What is this EVP we're about to hear?
This is old.
This is old.
I don't know. Let's play it in here.
Yeah.
Righteous,
Play it in
righteous.
here.
Here we go.
I heard it.
I heard
Jacob,
it.
Jacob.
Jacob.
I think they were talking about my ex-husband.
They're like, get him out of here. He sucks.
So creepy.
Jacob. That is
Well,
crazy.
actually, that's kind of funny because we had a guy break in that night in the death tunnel, and didn't he say his name was Jake?
No, we had a joke.
Oh, we were
that
calling him
is
Jake from State Farm. That's right.
If ghosts are wearing khakis, they're fashionable.
yeah.
But we do joke because it seems like every place we go, something weird happens.
Yeah.
Like in that particular case, here we are looking at the death tunnel, and some drunk guy comes walking up
In the death tunnel.
the death tunnel.
Yeah.
And we later on, and then they couldn't find him again. They made us stop hunting. The security searched the whole place.
I thought we were gonna die.
They never did find him. Leslie wants to leave.
It was my-
Was he wearing like normal clothes, or was he wearing
Yeah.
like?
I didn't
not-
see him.
Jake from State Farm.
He was wearing jeans and all that.
Maybe there was a commercial shoot that day you guys were unaware of. Yeah.
And we went down later on to the end, and there are like storm sewer type things, and there was a huge, heavy electrical cord coming down that he used to climb down in.
And then his friends left him.
But then he was left. But we go to a lot of places. People break in.
Cops show up.
Yeah, cops show up.
We're there. We're supposed to be there, but
Right.
Yeah. You get permission.
People don't
get
know.
permission, yeah.
Right, some people don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. What else? Okay, we got like there's so
there's the
many.
strip mall. There was
The
a
strip mall I saw up there.
yeah. I mean, you could probably pick one of those and get a good one.
These are creepy to me.
Hello.
Kid.
The wine.
That's me running my mouth.
It sounds like you guys are in another room just having a break.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you just have a recorder running.
So is that typically kind of how you guys catch stuff more often? It's
Yeah.
like when you're not, like you said,
When we're-
Deb said earlier, you're not looking at it. It's kind of when you tend to find
Yep.
more things.
The beauty school, we caught like almost like a baby cry when we were talking about the limestone.
Yeah.
I can't read it from this far away.
You got listen at 25 seconds high volume. I noticed there is a volume adjustment on the far right there next to the little speaker. Maybe we could turn that up, Brian.
The footsteps running around up on the floor above them was probably just something.
Yeah.
Kind of like that endless basketball game at far.
Oh, this is the one I think.
Isn't that crazy how that works? The energy.
Energies.
I wonder if that's true what they say with limestone buildings. Right. That what was that one? What town is that? They had taken apart a build.
Oh,
Yep.
I heard it.
Yep.
Weird. When I hear stuff like that, it makes me a little. I feel it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's almost like a.
There was
Sounded
a
like a
room
hive.
there that Paul had left a recorder, and there was just like what four of us there.
Yeah.
No, 5. We had the 2 girls because we have junior tipsters, which they're like now
Tipsters. Gosh, I love
junior
that.
tipsters. One of
Yeah.
them was my daughter, but she's an adult now, so she's an official. So we had the two girls, another ghost hunter, and Paul and I, and we were upstairs, and he had left a recorder in this room, and they called it
The fear room.
the fear room. It's like a room. This used to be an old high school.
Okay.
Okay, it's down in the basement.
Detention hall.
And this room
I'm familiar with those, Deb.
has no windows, and like you just walk through. It's like a walk through, and there was like one table in there. So Paul left his recorder in there, and we caught so much stuff. Like we caught like somebody, it sounded like somebody walked up to it and went right into the recorder. It should be on there if you want to. And then footsteps, and it was a very active room.
So, okay, out of all,
Now am I interested?
we have so much information we have here to digest, okay? I would like in the last like little 15 minutes here, if we can, like how we opened the episode where we kind of went around and we shared like what got us into ghost hunting. Like, I would like you guys to maybe share a moment where like it was like almost a confirmation like why you love it. Like what something, it doesn't have to be an experience, just like, you know, maybe there was a night y'all were just like, each had an encounter, or you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like, we caught this ghost and that was my experience. I would just want to know like what has sort of been over the years. You know, we got 12 years, 11 years. This group's been together 7 years. You like, out of all that time, you know, there's got to be those certain moments that you guys have had, be like, this is what I love to do. So I would love to hear maybe if we can go around and like get, just to wrap it up, you know, like to see what you guys, what's been that one moment being like, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I love. You know, I want you to share your passion if you guys don't mind. So whoever wants to start, by all means, I don't care. Yeah.
That was a great start.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't even really like this. I don't know why I did.
No. Like the EVPs, it's really thrilling when you come back and start listening to evidence and you don't think you have anything and you hear voices talking.
Sure.
But also when you feel stuff when you're actually there.
Yeah.
And I was in one place, I just remember leaning over to put a recorder on a chair, and a bolt of energy just went shooting through me like you wouldn't believe.
Just like you felt like maybe a
Yes.
double shot of coffee or something.
Yeah,
Just a
well,
jolt.
more than that.
Oh,
And
that's
it was
crazy.
Ice cold energy.
Wow.
In an area there was no wind, there was no nothing.
Yeah. That is something they always say temperature, right? Isn't it always typically colder when stuff is manifesting?
Yes.
What do you guys have any reasoning behind that, or it's just something just
know.
unexplained?
Don't
Sucking
know.
the heat out of the room.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's pulling the energy out to manifest or do something, talk, speak, move something. So it just drains everything out of its surrounding.
Making room
That's
for
why
itself.
batteries can drain. You can,
Yeah, batteries always drain with me. I don't know if you guys noticed this battery drained right away at the start of this. It was
really?
yeah, I had it changed already. The second battery's working fine. They're all fully charged. We went to
Mantino State Hospital.
Oh yeah, Mentee.
have you guys been there?
No,
I was there once a long time ago before part of it was down.
I thought they tore it down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I haven't been in a long time.
It is still there, guys. A lot
that
of
where
the
we did our
building-
photo shoot?
Yes, a lot of
Okay.
the
So we
buildings
had
have been
experiences there,
repurposed.
yeah.
We did a photo shoot
There's
there.
a veterans.
Yeah, they repurposed a lot of buildings for businesses and stuff, but the buildings are all there.
Yeah.
We did a photo shoot there last
Like
summer
September, I
sometime.
think, yes.
And that was one where I learned that Andy has a ghost.
Yeah.
But two, again, our basis, you could feel
Okay,
the difference
so one,
in the area.
I'll explain a couple weird things that happened when we were there. We were there for a band photo shoot. We weren't there to like, you know, investigate paranormal or anything like that. But our photographer's batteries kept dying while we were there. Like she kept having to change it. But she's like, this is so odd. We have to, you know, shout out April, love photography. And then my phone went missing, like was gone. Like I didn't lose it. It was just gone. And we couldn't find it anywhere. And then all of a sudden it turned up in the photographer's van.
Whoa.
And it was like super just like weird. Like that's such a weird thing to happen. And it's just like that day we were all kind of like, what is going on? And we had their spirit box.
Well,
on.
I was going to say, me and Mel were, that's our bassist, Mel. We were walking around while you were doing your solo shots, and she had her spirit box going, and she's listening. She's like, camera, dead. What's going on? There's a car. Like,
Kept saying my name.
said his name tons of times, or like just, and obviously it's supposed to be an area that is very active, blah, 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 blah. But like,
And I'm
when
walking
you're
around taking
walking
pictures
up
like,
to
I don't
the-
know what to do with my hands.
when
That's
you're
like what I'm
walking up
focused
to
on.
the car and you're hearing car, blue, walking, and you're like, That's what I'm doing. There's nobody over here. You know what I mean? Sorry, I hit that, Brian. I got excited. It's just a crazy thing. You guys should try to make it. Again, most of the buildings you can't really go into anymore, but they have some.
And their security there's kind of
property
weird.
is still really cool.
We didn't ask permission.
Nah, we just
Yeah.
we just went. We
Yeah.
just went. I think they thought we were crazy, the people
Yeah.
that were there. But it's interesting. There was like spots where just like remember that like walk down in the one building, and I was like, I'm not going down.
And then
there.
here's me. It's like, let's walk everywhere. I'm going in there. Let's see that.
Nah, go ahead. But
Yeah, I'm like kind of like almost naive to a fault, I think, when it comes with this stuff. So I would love, if you ever want, just like some
Please
special
take
guest
him.
hosts. Yeah,
Please take him
I would
with
love
you.
to do an investigation.
so that he can come home and be like,
Yeah, if we need bait.
okay.
Yeah,
To the prison
take
with
it.
us.
Let's
I
take
am a
him to Sheboygan.
masturbator, so you know what I.
Let's take him to Sheboygan Asylum next.
Yeah,
Either there or
You go fishing.
Mansfield.
yeah, Mansfield.
I
Okay.
will do one, but that is it. That's all I'll commit to is one ever. They asked me, they're like, would you? I was like, nah, nope.
Yeah,
nah.
I do want
would
to get back to experiences. So if you want to go to Baby Ghost Emma over here, like what is something over the the investigations you've done, like that's been that sort of moment for you that's been kind of like, oh man, I love this. Like, do you have a story?
Yeah, but it wasn't in an investigation. My mom, it was while I was doing all this, my mom and I, we went to, Galena.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a nice little downtown area.
Very familiar with
Haunted.
Galena, actually.
And haunted.
There's this
Very.
place called the DeSoto House, and
Okay.
my mom and I, I had told her, there's ghosts there. Let's stay. So, we told the lady, we wanted room 309 because I heard that was
My first band name was Lasco 309, so that's a weird
Really?
sort of synchronicity. Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Named off one of those big Lasco fans, and then I liked Blink 182, so I'm like, let's put some numbers there.
Have
309.
it.
Yeah.
So,
Wikipedia, Brandon.
so that
I have a
night,
Lasco fan. So.
Yeah, there you go.
that night I was laying in bed. My mom was in the queen bed next to me. We had our own separate beds, but something got into bed with me, and I was like, "Oh my god, Mom, something's in bed with me."
Like you felt the pressure and stuff.
I felt
change?
it, and then it happened to my mom, and it took off some of her sheets. I think my mom said at least 2 inches it took off. It was really cool for her to experience that, and I'm like, this is what this is what I see.
Yeah.
Um,
So you got to share that
Yeah.
moment with somebody who's close to you. Then.
yeah, and then there was a residual haunting happening in the same room. I woke up and I saw a lady. She was by the TV and she was doing something. Clearly, wasn't from today's
Wasn't
world.
one of y'all, yeah.
I like because you said the lady in the blue dress earlier. Was this apparition in color as well?
Yeah.
See, I guess maybe for me, that's like what the proof I would need. A
Right.
colored
I was
ghost.
Excuse me.
I need to see that outfit, man. I need to see the
Yeah.
fit. What's going on? Yeah, that's crazy. So
Yeah.
you talked to it?
I tried. I was like, excuse me, and she wasn't paying attention.
me.
She was in her own
Residual.
excuse me.
Hello.
So polite. Yep.
And
So she didn't even know.
residual is kind of just leftover. It's not necessarily a
Yeah.
spirit.
It's on a loop.
It is an energy attached to the space, like you said,
Right.
whatever you
I think
said.
it's kind
about
of on a
items,
loop.
but
Yeah, it's on a loop.
Yeah.
It's like a tape player that keeps.
It
May have
just
been a
it's
maid
there.
or something.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's awesome.
the
So you got to
redundancy, the
share that moment with
repetitiveness.
your mom, and that was kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is I'm in the
is it.
field that I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's awesome. I love to hear these stories. I think it's important for people to share their passions, and it's like as obscure as sometimes maybe ghost hunting may be, or hey, Mom, I'm going to be a musician. Like it seems crazy to some people, but I think there's a lot of people out there, that maybe want to start ghost hunting or want to start something, but they maybe feel ostracized or something. So that's why I think it's important to share these moments, like that's with your mom, like, hey Mom, see, this is why I love this. And I can relate to that, so I know Jason's over here chomping at the bit. He's thinking of ideas. He's like, I got a couple.
I do have a couple,
We
but
could talk for hours.
Yeah.
So
We'll do it again, guys. Don't worry.
you've got kind of touched on like a residual hunt with Emma's experience. So ours was at Waverly, and it was. You know what I was going to go with this,
Yeah.
Deb. It was Deb and I.
Deb even lit up.
So
too.
this is a
I'm
shared
excited about it.
experience.
This
Okay.
is a shared experience, but it was probably one of the best EVPs that I've ever, best and funniest and intelligent EVPs I've ever experienced on a ghost hunt ever. So we're up on the 3rd floor. We're at one end. We're doing a EVP session. There's a lot of stuff going on outside because it's all open air. There's
Yeah.
like a party going on, I don't know, in a subdivision next to us or whatever. And, we're just asking random questions, not just your run of the mill, like how old are you, blah, blah, blah. So I asked.
Why are you here?
Yeah, exactly. Did you die here? No. So
They're just like, no.
yeah.
They just
Nah, bro.
So all this stuff was going on outside, and I asked the question. It's like, what do you think of all that racket? And we didn't hear it with our own ears, but when we went back and re-listened to our recordings, I got a whisper, and it was a tailed response to my question. It followed right after it. It said, "It's a bitch."
It sounded like a teenage girl.
Yep. Now,
She's like,
there's
nah,
nothing.
That's how I feel
there
about
was-
noise most of the time.
There was nobody else around us. There isn't
I love you,
anything. I mean,
Ghost.
so it was one of probably the best EVP that
It's-
when I was listening to it, I was laughing so hard upstairs.
That's awesome.
That is so like that was like the moment for you, like both of y'all, where it was just like, man, I love this.
Yeah.
That's
I love
defining.
this.
But Deb didn't get it on her recorder.
No,
I
I
got
didn't.
it on mine only. So
There's a lot
See,
of
that's
times that
even more
happens.
interesting to me because if you're both running the same, like, sort of, technology at the same time, but one catches in another, that's an anomaly. That's not something that
it makes it even more interesting.
that's so awesome. All right, Leslie, what about you? What's
Come on,
like?
legs. Let's go.
Oh my goodness, it's like hard to narrow them down. 'cause
Yeah, I know,
there's
I
so
know.
many
It's just
places.
Sue tells me that you have a lot of great stories.
Yeah, Sue Flynn. Shout out to Sue Flynn.
told us.
friend.
Hey, best friend.
What's up, Sue?
Best.
What up, Sue?
She's awesome. Okay, so like I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about Ashmore when we had the thing rotate with the pin light. That was weird. But honestly, like I knew I loved it after my first actual ghost hunt, and it was actually my first time I ghost hunted with you. I don't think you weren't there. It was at the Will County Historical Society.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Jason and I and some other people were out in a carriage house, and there is an old horse carriage out there, and it has the glass in it. And we're all just standing there asking questions, freezing our ass off because it's really cold. And Jason goes, "If you're here, can you make a noise?" And we heard on the glass
I've got that recording.
of the carriage house, and I was just like, "Holy cannoli!" And then
I say that to my kids all the time. That's weird that you just said that. Holy
cannoli.
That's funny. Yeah.
Well, and then when we went in the basement, like we're standing there and you can just hear somebody walking across the floor. And
I ran up.
Jason went to go see what it was, and there was nobody up there because it was just a small group of us there. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. And I didn't run out of here screaming, so I think I can do this. And yeah,
that was like
felt
a
good.
confirming. I want to comment like everything you guys, Fox Hollow, and
Yeah.
Waverly. These all sound super haunted. That place you just said. What was the name
the
again?
Will County Historical Society.
Yeah, of
Is
course.
Isn't that where we played?
No, we play at the museum. The museum.
Oh yeah, no, this is in
Very haunted.
Lockport.
Lockport.
That museum's
Is it?
haunted?
Yeah.
That's funny.
We've played at the museum twice now.
Shout out to Mike Brick.
Yeah, and
Can we hunt? Can we go investigate there?
Hey, I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but Julia has been very kind to our band, so I'm pretty sure I could squeak some wheels if you guys want to go some
Awesome.
places.
Get us into the prison.
You want to go to the prison?
Yes.
we could make that happen possibly.
Probably. Well, you got to take our stupid asses with
Yeah,
you.
Awesome.
sorry,
That's
that's
the only
rule.
contingent. We
I'll
gotta-
probably
give you a
cry.
shirt.
Absolutely
I
not.
will.
I need a shirt and a hoodie.
I probably
will buy
will
them.
cry.
Stick with me. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm big.
we'll
They're
talk
scared of
about
me.
that off mic, but I think maybe we can talk to some people because we do know the town pretty well, like people who are involved with stuff like that. So that would be sort of.
Sick.
Deb,
Mama, you're our last one.
I'm with you.
Oh, yeah,
here.
I have experienced so much just between hospice and everything else. So for me, I mean, I've always believed, and I would say I believe there's times where you'll get touched, like something will hit you like that, and it's well, I was in Indiana. Oh no, actually it was Ohio, and it was
Ohio's for
Ohio.
lovers.
Licking County Jail,
Oh.
and we left the jail, went to our hotel, and there's 4 of us in the room. We were all sharing the room, and each one of us girls were just, reading, listening to EVPs. I had a cold ice hand come up my shirt.
Ooh, frisky ghost.
Getting
You
fresh,
could
huh?
feel the cold. You could feel the fingers
You could
go
feel the digits.
right up the nipple.
The titty.
Yes.
No, he did
We're
not.
2 hours in. We're titty talking now.
Corn dog.
No,
bro.
so I tell you, it was that's when it's like, okay, they can really touch you. Because
That's
I've
crazy.
seen them, and you feel them, you smell them, and you get a brush,
Right.
and that's fine. This was he could touch me, or she, or whoever, it
Wow.
touched me.
They was trying to get a piece. Deb.
Yes, and then I blessed the room, and we were good.
Cool. And I'm not trying to make a comedic response to yours, but I
No.
did watch this movie called Scary Movie one time. and there's a whole scene where there's like a ghost love scene. So maybe
I
that's
tell
where they
ya,
got
it's
the idea
weird.
for it. I don't know.
People, I've heard accounts of people being like, the ghost had
happens.
sex with me.
Oh yeah,
Dude, Patrick Swayze ghost, man.
yeah, that's
Oh,
nice.
Sometimes they're
my
charming. Sometimes they're charming.
God.
It's a Friday night. Got to talk the
it's Patrick
right?
Swayze, you know.
Speaking of nips, I just wanted to make a quick funny. Since we're at the end of it now, I could talk about gross stuff. We've been watching a lot of like videos, just kind of trying to get ourselves in like the realm and just like getting spooked legitimately. And like one of the things we were watching some stuff last night, and when I get like spooked, I get like goosebumps.
Oh,
But
this
then
is funny actually.
I get hard nip, bro. Like I get scared and I get hard nip. So
Those are her ghost receptors.
I'm like, there they are. So yeah, well, I'm not
That's super
mad,
funny.
but you know.
Yeah.
It's a new piece of equipment.
Yeah, exactly. All we got to figure out is
Take
the
me, I'll be
science
like, you
behind it.
guys, wait a minute.
Yeah, we'll take Rachel and we'll just put her in a room if her nips get hard. All right, that's
Ghost.
what we're gonna start.
Come
with that.
on.
Ghost.
That room, no hard.
Nips
Okay,
are hard.
that
Bring it
room.
back.
Ghost.
That's how we baseline the place.
Exactly.
Use Rachel's
Tips. You guys are gonna start calling yourself tits.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Well, it's been about 2 hours. I'm sure we could talk about this stuff forever. I hope, in the future here, we can figure out some way to collaborate again on some awesome idea.
Absolutely.
Again, we do YouTube vlogs, stuff like that. We try to keep our presence like over, being artists in 2020 with COVID, we've had to kind of get more, savvy with like what we're doing because we can't go play clubs and stuff like that right now. I mean, we could. We just play it safe.
We don't.
we sit at our apartment. But yeah, I would love to maybe talk more about maybe some Joliet haunts. Maybe we can get into some of that stuff with you guys. And
Come to our apartment.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, come check out our apartment.
Yeah,
I almost don't want you to because I don't want to know. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
I got to
But
live
we
there.
already know. So what's
They
the
might knock
difference
some off
now?
rent if we can prove it's haunted, though. So, I mean, that's
We
cool.
got
Well,
real
we
accounts.
might be able
guys.
to communicate if we bring like recorders and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah.
I'm
Xbox.
down for it.
We do podcast like typically our podcast is out of our apartment, so I'm always curious if we catch something on one of the episodes. Nobody's ever mentioned
surprised.
anything,
I
but
bet.
yeah,
I never even thought of that.
I've thought about that.
But we're
before.
talking the
I
whole
was thinking
time.
about it.
So
Yeah, so
I should have brought my thermal camera.
yeah.
let's listen back to this later,
All right,
guys.
yeah, you guys,
never
we're
know.
definitely going to have to collaborate on some more things in the future. It was honestly a pleasure to have you all here. I literally it's the tip of the iceberg, I think. for
Hell
this
yeah.
conversation.
You guys have been amazing.
Thank you.
For any of you guys who are listening, if you are having your own shit, you can contact them. There's a couple of different ways. First off, you can go to their website, ghosttip.com. All their information, their bios, all their background and stuff is on there. You can also, send a text message to 630-318-6145, or you can email them at tip@ghosttip.com. So if you guys need some ghost rectification, all right, call our ladies and gents at the Illinois Paranormalists, and they will take care of you.
Yeah, is there anything else you guys want to plug before we get out of here? Is there anything?
Anything upcoming?
You got some
or-
merch? Yeah, you got
Thank
merch
you for having us.
Hey, no problem
thanks
at
a
all.
lot.
Like it's literally been a pleasure. Yeah, we'll wrap this up. I will drop the audio of this episode next Friday. So 1 week from today, if you weren't able to tune in for the whole episode, we will have the audio version up on all of our 3 Feet Deep.
We will
sites.
we'll have the video up on like YouTube and stuff at some
Yeah,
point
probably
as
like
well.
the same day. So probably about a week. We will put all your information in there. So if anybody wants to find you guys, contact you guys, anything like that. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. Anything else you guys want to cover before we get out of here, or is that pretty much?
No, we could do it all day.
I know exactly.
Talk
That's
all
you know
day.
that's one of those
So you gotta
hard
make that
things. I gotta
executive
make the cut
decision.
right there. So, all right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of 3 Feet Deep. Thank you to the Illinois Paranormalists. We got Deb, Lesley,
Legsley, Jason,
Baby Ghost, Emma, and Paul. The